What's going on, guys? We
Woo!
can hide your wife, women, and children. Hey, Ryzak, you're gonna start talking about my wife, bro.
I don't know, man. It's out there on the internet, so if it's out there on the internet, it must be true.
All right, fair enough. Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is an episode unlike any other. When I thought of doing this, I always thought, wouldn't it be crazy if we have one episode, right? The whole show isn't this, but we have one episode that dares to go where no one goes. And where's that? Well, people always have a hard time discussing things that actually happen. Like, oh, you pushed my baby down, so I punched you in the face. You can't talk about that. It was in the past.
We shouldn't talk about that.
Well, guess what? Today we're going to recap past drama. Now, I know how this looks. I know people are like, oh, you're shock jockeys and you guys are, but it's just, again, blame me because this is my very first episode of No Yes Men, and I wanted to do that. So it's myself, AKA the Cowboy. We got AKA Jeff down here. What's up, Jeff?
Woo! What's happening, boys? It's happening in chat, Ray in the chat, Stadia Life in the chat. Brucey Campbell. Rocking out with the Brucey Campbell. It's happening. Got the duck here.
The duck is ready.
Got the duck ready.
And we got Ryzak, man.
That's right.
What's up,
the king of content. The king of content.
According to you. I don't know, man. After last week's show, I'm feeling this one a little bit. But let me just say, it's not just about talking about what people don't want to talk about. It's also about talking about what people talk about off camera and behind the scenes that they don't want to say out in person.
Sure.
So, there's that factor of it too.
No, you know what? That's a good point. So it's literally candid conversations we're going to have today. We're just going to go through the history of our kind of community and crazy stuff that happened, and we're just going to discuss it like grown, consenting adults. Now, yes, that means some people who aren't even watching, names may be mentioned. That's just watching television. I don't know what to tell you. So we're just going to discuss it.
Blocking will be happening. People are going to have their blocking fingers ready.
Oh yeah, we might get blocked. But and listen, our first episode we got blocked by somebody. So
you know what? I've been blocked by way better people than the people in this community.
Damn. All right, well, just go on and get us some dislikes, Jeff. Damn.
Hey, those still count in the Google and in the YouTube analytics. Likes still matter.
You know what? You are 100% right. But since I know both of you guys just happen to have other stuff planned on a day like today, you got to be busy.
I can't help it that my my man crush Bryant should.
Yeah, you can't even say his name. Hello?
Oh, bye, Ryzak.
Damn.
Bye, Ryzak. All right. Well, let me do my 1 minute thing then.
Yes, sir.
Yes, can I kill the thing and give me director? Give me a one shot.
All right, it's all you. Wait, hold on. How do I give you the one shot?
See, I start talking about Bryant. You kicked me off the damn show. Look at that.
Nah.
Just about to say, I can't help that my man crush is going to be on the show today, and I got one of my best friends on the show today. Like, man.
Well, hold on.
Hold on, I'm doing a 1 minute. I'm doing a less than 1 minute rant. You can even put a timer on me.
Look, man, why am I looking at a gigantic?
Let Jeff do his 1 minute rant. Come on, man.
Holy shit!
I want to clip this for TikTok. So quiet on the set. This is for all of you out there, not just gamers, but everybody in the world. Please, I beg you, stop buying UFC events that has that stupid Irish guy, Conor McLoser. Stop it. He sucks. He hasn't won anything since 2016. He is a disgrace. Stop buying UFC events that he is in it. They're going to keep sticking on because you clowns keep going, oh, let's go watch them. And he just, if you stop buying the events, they will stop booking him and he will go away. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Great.
Now, where were we?
Sorry, guys.
How to use the software, Anthony?
Sorry. Well, with that said, guys, we got a special guest. This guest, man, most of you guys may not know him by the name Jay. Some of you may know him by Peter Cottontail, and a lot of you may know him by Foremost Gaming. And this guy, listen, Ryzek said to me, Ryzek, you tell the quick story.
He's my Rocket League best friend. That's what it is. So no, seriously, we were sitting there the other day and we were talking about guests that we want to bring on. I've had an affinity for Mr. Peter Cottontail, aka Foremost GG, aka Jay, for quite a while now. He's pretty much blocked by everybody on Twitter, and I freaking love him. So I jumped on one of those AT&T posts the other day, and there were some people that were hating on Stadia, and I said, well, let me ask, you mind if I ask you why? They started going in on me. Oh, you know why? You're a gamer. You know what this company is doing. I said, well, I consider myself a gamer, and no, I don't really know what it is that this company is doing. My man Jay came in from the top rope, man. He started going off on all these people. He got blocked by like 4 people in 5 minutes. I called you up, or I wrote you, and I said, look, this is who you need for your show, because he has no filter, at least on Twitter. We'll see how he does today. I said, but he just don't give a shit. That's kind of what what you're going on with this show a little bit. So we reached out to him, and he was like, heck yes, I would love to, because he has some things that he would like to say as well today. So
right.
Yeah, he's going to be a great guest.
So I just to let you guys know, I have let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I got 12. Okay, I got 12 things on the list today. I thought it was 11.
I saw a joke about Conor McGregor today.
Ryzek and I have to be done by 7:30.
All right, Ryzek, and you have to be done by 7:30. So, well, let's bring in none other than Mr. Peter Cottontail, aka Foremost Games, aka Jay.
Yo, look at him.
Let's go.
That baby face.
Yeah, man.
Before we get into this, bro, what is your issue? Why do people hate you?
I tell them all the shit they don't want to hear. People despise that. They'd rather I agree with them so they can basically self-validate.
So they want you to be a yes man.
Exactly. Yep, okay. Exactly.
All right. So let me ask you this. What is it that makes you not be able to hold back and not say anything? Like, it seems that you don't pick a fight, but you respond and it creates a fight. What does there times where you just say, you know what, that's beneath me? Or do you just say, damn it, if they comes in my way, I'm going in?
I don't know. Like, I won't hold back because I hate when people talk about something that they don't know. I've grown up wondering, like, how can I talk shit about something that I don't know anything about? I can't sit there and say, oh, this is bad, or, oh, I know they're going to do this. I know they're going to do that. I'm not a damn fortune teller. They're not fortune tellers.
Right.
How do you know what's going to happen? You can't sit there and let someone enjoy something because you're so against it. And that is a very, very, very big pet peeve of mine.
Listen, I hear you, man. I think it's it's all about picking your fights, right? But sometimes stuff agitate you, and you just say, like, the hell with it. Like, I probably about 3 weeks ago, I said there was so much good Stadia news that I'm making a personal clause that if somebody says something stupid, that's without reason, right? Just dumb, right? Hating on Stadia, I'm gonna get on them. Hey, oh well. And I've been kind of doing it, but so I was curious to ask you that. But anyway, guys, these two guys.
The one thing that I absolutely just really respect about him is that he stays consistent.
Yes,
he stays consistent with everything he says, with everybody, no matter who they are. And I really, really appreciate that, because you do not change your story and you do not change your stance, which is something you're going to get into today.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get into it. I got a little bone to pick with him myself. Anyway, Foremost will always be a drifter to me.
All day, every day.
Yeah, Doc Dark's in the building. All right, guys. So we're gonna get this thing started. So the docket first is I had to back up. I try to put things in order, and of course, you guys, if you got stuff you want to bring up, I know Foremost got some stuff, but we want to get through this in a timely manner, so let's not spend too much time. But again, guys, we're recapping past drama in the community. So I want to bring up this probably happened before the closure of SG&E, because we got to bring that up, guys. Again, I always like to say it's the meteorite that hit the planet and made the dinosaurs go scatter, right? But I just want to ask you guys about this. So Ryzak, and listen, first I want to say this. The guy I'm talking about right now, I'm a big fan. I literally use his videos the most when I have my Stadia debates. I use his videos to shut people the hell up because his videos are so good and precise, and it's so much so much information in his videos in a timely fashion where I can say, oh, what? Check out this video. So I'm bringing up none other than Mr. Brian Chappelle. I'm a huge fan, and I know Ryzak is too, but I have to bring up Brian Chappelle because this was probably my first drama I had in the community. So Brian Chappelle, very first episode of him going live, the first time he ever went live, he played Pac-Man Megatunnel Battle. I'm the self-proclaimed Pac genius, all right? So I jumped in his chat and I said, oh, you playing my game. So he went on to say, you can't beat me, do the Deca challenge, and now your mama knows, I bet you can't do what I do, blah, blah, blah. So what I think is that he was just talking and didn't know. So I said, bro, I will make a video of you challenging me and me accepting the challenge. Now, what he didn't realize was months before that, a buddy of mine said how much he was better than me and Pac-Man. So I went to Dave and Buster's and played him live with an audience watching and recorded it. So when I made my little comeback video to Brian, I actually showed that part in the video. Now, he never responded. This was like, let's say a Monday, and Friday was going to be his live thing he does, right? He never responded. So maybe about Wednesday, I inboxed him. This when Stadia first added the little messaging feature. Yeah, I'm telling it all. Actually, the first time I told the story live was on your channel, right?
Brian, please, if you see this, please still come to the show later.
I hope he gets pissed off
please
not to do the show.
Please still come to Game Over.
Hold on, Ray. Hold on. What you say, Jeff?
I said I hope he gets pissed off and doesn't show up tonight.
I mean,
yeah, because Jeff wants to win.
Then I actually have a shot at winning.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you're going against him. All right, so let me finish the story real quick, right? So I inboxed the man. I said, listen, man, I know why you didn't respond to me because you were scared, but it's okay. Blah, 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 something like that, right? He writes me back and say, if I see what you're trying to do, and this isn't the way to do it, so I don't think you and me should play against each other. I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, I just thought this was like two wrestlers kind of hyping each other up. And I inboxed you behind the scenes. That was the old me. I would have just put it on Twitter or made another video. So he literally tells me he didn't want to play me. So I had people like, yo, are you and Brian going to play each other? I said, I don't know. People, and this is how me and Spectre first met. Spectre wrote on his show, like on one of his streams, hey, are you going to play all-purpose champ? So he was like, I talked to him about it, and it's not going to happen. So Spectre inboxed me and said, hey, I talked to Brian. I just wrote him, and he said, you guys are going to play each other. So I go read it. I'm like, this mother effer, man. What? So I realized he probably just didn't want a small channel like me to show him up on screen. So anyway, I'm going to finish it off. I was a bit of an a-hole. I'm not going to lie. So that was it. So about a month later, he went live, and I was like, oh, you know what? He's playing Pac-Man live. I'm just going to jump in because of Pac-Man, you can play anybody. So I jump in his stream and beat him 4 times in a row, right? I played him 4 total times. Not only did I beat him, but I won each time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get out of your stream to allow you to finish it because this whole thing was he had to win 10 matches, right? So I jump out. I got a chance to talk my little trash. And at the same time, I went live. So I was streaming it live. So it's out there. It happened. And then months later, Stadia Source, he was a guest, and I brought it up. I was like, yo, Brian, so what happened, man? You didn't want to face me, man. What happened about that? He was like, it is what it is. So I let it go. Now, that's my quick little drama. And that's kind of what happened. So where did I go wrong? What do you guys have to say about it? Honestly, what's your thoughts on that story?
We'll let the guest respond first, Mr. Peter, Mr. Cottontail. All
right. So first off, Brian, I respect the ever living hell out of you. Like, I love your show all the time. I catch everything that you tweet all the time. But honestly, yeah, why did that happen? Like, Cowboy, you back up your shit. Honestly, you back up a lot of what you talk. And I want to see that happen. Bryant, like, really having a hard time. Bryant, you can't let Cowboy disrespect you like that, first off. Because Cowboy, bro, okay. First off, and I also got to say, neither of you two are going to beat me at Pac-Man, ever. Ever, never, ever going to happen, first of all. But two, it would have been nice for that to happen. I like seeing scores being settled.
Right.
I don't like words being said and nothing happens, because then you're just left on a cliffhanger. Like, what are you going to do after that? So really, that's just my.
Well, let me ask you this. Don't get out of this, man. This for all of you guys. All right. Why do you think he didn't want to play me? He said because I inboxed him. Now, I don't watch him make fun of people in videos and everything. I didn't do nothing he didn't do. So he said, oh, you inboxed me, so that I didn't appreciate that. Like, wait, you chose not to play me because I inboxed you? So I'm just asking you, do you guys think like that legitimately bothered him? Or I personally think he seen my video and was like, yo, this dude is good, and I don't want him to show me up live, and he's a smaller channel. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but it's the only thing that makes sense to me. But
I don't know enough about that to speak honestly about it. But what I will say is what I told you the other day is I think that you two are from the same cloth. You're just from different sides of it. And maybe that is why it didn't happen, because as much as you like to troll,
right,
he likes to troll just as much on the Nerf Report. And, you know, you get a bad rap for it, but he gets a lot of claps for it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I would like to see this this battle go down. You and I mean, I say this pretty much every show. You and I have had talks. I think that some people have a hard time seeing how outgoing you are in character.
Right.
And where I have problems with certain individuals because of how they act, maybe that is his feeling towards you too.
Right.
I don't want to speak for him, but you know, just trying to take a little bit different angle. I don't think he's scared of you, because what's going to happen? He's either going to win or he's going to lose. At the end of the day, it's going to be one or the other. Don't matter. It's not like it's going to take followers away from the Nerf Report because he loses to you.
I just feel like he didn't want to lose in public to me, man. He didn't want, you know. Anyway, Jeff, what do you got to say on this?
I beat him in Outcaster, so I don't even know what's going on.
I mean, I eventually did beat him in Pac-Man.
I guess there was no upside for him, because like you said, if he beats you, okay, well, then he's just beat you. And if he loses to you, well, he's lost to you, right? So maybe there was just no upside. What did it gain? What does it get him by playing you?
But see,
right?
you guys, so the story,
it wasn't a competition. It wasn't a tournament. I don't know if there was an upside to play.
Here's the thing. You guys aren't listening. He challenged me first. He literally on live, I got it in my video, said, I challenge you. I said, bro, I'm gonna make a video. He said, go ahead, do it. This happened.
Maybe he wasn't expecting you to call him out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, then that just means he was talking out his rear end.
I don't know. I love you, Brian. Please come to the show later. Thank you.
It's okay if you need to drop out. It's okay.
Listen,
if you're all pissed off, I'll understand.
I appreciate you guys touching that subject. Ace is in the building, Cloud Game Extreme, and his question is, what is this show about? So no yes man, and Ace and I, Ace has definitely a thing about the no yes man, because the no yes man first started. To be honest, I watched an episode of Ace's show, and I felt they were all being the yes men, most of them. And Avery was on the show, Duncan was on the show, and they was all like, oh, Stadia's gonna die. Stadia's gonna die. I'm like, bro, is everybody just gonna piggyback off of the next person? So I made a post and I called everybody out. I just went tag. Yo, I want to talk to, why don't y'all come on my show? Keeping it real with the Cowboy. I'm calling you out. So my thing was, I wanted Duncan first. Duncan came on. And since it's history, keeping it real with the Cowboy has been a thing. Ace has been on, Avery's been on, Chases, you name it, right? So no yes, man. We're just three guys together with our guest today, and we're not going to be yes men. On this show, we're going to disagree. Somebody's going to be like this or that. Now, I'm not saying Ace, because I know you're feeling like I'm saying everybody on your show is a yes man. I just feel like that day you guys were being yes men. So, but this is what the show is about. Now, today episode is called Recap Past Drama. We're just going over stuff that happened in the gaming community. Hopefully that, explained it all. And then I do want to say, Vet did say, Anthony, he doesn't play people that aren't really that good. So, anyway, so the next thing on the list, guys, is
hey, I mean, what? How many people can play Pac-Man?
I mean, first of all, me and Foremost going to settle this because he just said. So
I back it up all the time.
I say we get Jay. I say we get Brian. I say we get Vet. I say we get all these other people against you, and then let's just see who really is the best.
Well, let me just say this. I don't know if you knew me back then, Ryzak, but when Pac-Man was free, I did a Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle All-Purpose Championship. The first person who could win 5, and guess what? I won 4 straight, lost 1, and won the last one, and I am the champion.
You were playing 63 bots. Wasn't nobody playing Pac-Man then?
It was free that weekend. More people was playing. I made, so. But anyway, guys, so let's talk about
maybe that'll be one of the games in the Stadia Summer tournament this week.
Jack inboxed me and said, dude, you're not joining? I said, all right, man, I'm going to join. So I'm literally registering, guys. So I will be a part of it.
Oh, I can't wait to see your Hitman stream. Maybe I should host.
I never even played the game, ever. But guys, SG&E. So your thoughts on the closure of SG&E and how it literally made, the community go crazy. I seen it as a Stadia community, a little bit of other cloud gaming. And when SG&E happened, it was like, the Stadia only people versus the people that want you to play. They didn't say don't play Stadia, but they want you to no longer only play Stadia. What do you guys think about that?
I have been in some other streams, Twitch and whatnot, and I say I play on Stadia, and almost all the time they're like, "Oh, we don't like Stadia. They closed it. They closed the thing, and I can't put up with that. They closed the studio. I can't put up with that." And then I start naming all the studios that whatever they're on Xbox or PlayStation, like, well, that doesn't matter. Stadia closed theirs, and I don't like it. That's all anyone ever brings up. They focus on that one news bite. That's it.
Of course. Why not?
That's all. They don't know anything else about it other than, although one guy in one stream, he did admit that Stadia did play. There was very little issues with Cyberpunk. I know there's been no updates and I know all that other nonsense, but at launch there was very little issues with Stadia, although it had issues everywhere else, and he did admit that. But still,
I need to time out here real quick, Anthony,
yes, sir.
Because I can't go any longer without this being shown in public. Can you please share that for me?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals on the show today. Kyler J. Murray is here. So I just
okay. Hey.
I just need to show that. Sorry.
All right, I see you, Ryzak.
Jay is much more talented.
So foremost, Peter Contel, what's your thoughts on the whole SG&E and how the drama unfolded in the community when it happened?
All right, so like everybody else, man, it hurt seeing SG&E close, and something like Stadia, I've been dreaming of it as a kid, being able to not being tied to having to be home to play my games. If I went on a flight, I couldn't play anything but crappy mobile games because there was no way to do it. And when SG&E came with the promise of bringing cloud native games that could only be played on the cloud, I was excited to hell and back. And I'm right along with everybody else on that. When it shut down, that sucked. I felt bad for all the developers that hopped on the train and they lost their jobs because Google decided to pull the plug. And I get it. Financially, that was probably a much better decision to do because you can't sit there and focus on building a game if your infrastructure and your reach isn't there. The games aren't good if you have nobody to give it to or no way for it to run properly. So really, it really does suck that SG&E closed, and it's stupid that people use that one concrete fact because that's all they have on Stadia. They can't verify anything else. They can't do anything else because everything else current has been nothing but good news from them opening their first physical store, Stadia getting a prominent position, it expanding to more devices than it already was. So again, yeah, it really does suck, and I feel bad. It sucks that they lost talented people, but shit happens.
I think the thing that is evident in all of these people's responses, right? It's not a Stadia thing. It has absolutely nothing to do with Stadia. And Jeff has pointed this out time and time again. All the hate is Google.
Right.
Well, Google kills things. Well, Google does this. Well, how can you like a corporation like Google? Google. You can't say anything about Stadia. It's all Google.
Right. Yep.
You got no facts on Stadia.
And I'm worse. I hate Apple. And I'm on record of calling, people eye sheep and, the eye turd that whenever Apple slaps out. I'm the same way with Apple. And there are people who love Apple and hate Google. Right. So, yeah.
Well, let me say this. I just want to talk to a point of foremost. Guys, don't hate me, but man, I don't care about those people losing their jobs. Listen, let me be real. It's called business. I worked at a company for a few months away from 20 years. 2 years ago, on June 24th, I went to work on a Thursday. Around 10 o'clock, this guy was like, all right, man, it was nice knowing you. I said, where are you going? He said, they're letting people go. I texted my wife and said, this might be my last day. She said, what? You've been there for 20 years. They ain't letting you go. 11 o'clock, they called me in the office, said, listen, man, we got this blue packet for you. We got a severance packet. Unfortunately, you got to go. We're having hard times letting people go. I took it like a G. People was like, well, how are you not upset? I said, because it's business. The first thing happened in business is payroll. They got to let go of payroll. I was there for close to 20 years. They could get somebody to do my job and pay them half the price. So guess what? I walked out of there like it is what it is. I'll find another job. That was 2 years ago.
Took that severance and bought a brand new black cowboy hat, baby.
Thank you. Right. So at the end of the day, man, I don't feel sorry for people losing their job. It's nothing personal. Now, if they said we can't stand these people because, I don't know, some fabricated, whatever, then it's different. But it's business is business. I feel bad for everybody losing their job, but it's just business. I don't feel particularly, people's like, I can't believe Google, 150 people are out of jobs. People are out of, somebody got fired a second ago. I just said that. Somebody's getting fired in 2 minutes. That's just business. It is what it is.
And so, there are
I've been fired from jobs before too. I mean, it sucks, but it is business.
It sucks, but it's
There's
business.
A lot of small-time developers that came out that had worked for big companies. They're like, look, this is just the nature of the business.
Yeah, they're like, hey, listen, they probably got bounced around. But then my last thing I want to say to what you were saying to bring it up is me personally, when they closed it, I'm just such a realist, right? Listen, that's like me dating this fat girl, right? And she's like, I'm telling you, in 5 years, I'm going to be skinny. Just watch. And I'm like, ooh, baby. And then we break up in 2 years. I never got that. Well, guess what? I ain't never seen her skinny anyway. So my point is, you can't miss what you never had. When they closed down, I was like, I mean, it would be cool when they didn't even know what it would be. One time on Stadia Source, we had a show. It took like a half an hour of us. They was like, what would you want this before SDNE closed? What would you want Google to do now that you can make games in the cloud? We was like, I was like, I mean, I guess have a game that's like every game, one game turned to another game. We don't even know. So they never ever showed what a cloud native game would be. So for me, now people like Eddie Player One, I give him credit. He said that his main reason for coming to Stadia was that 5-something years away games you could get in the cloud. That's what he came to Stadia for. So for people like that, hey, listen, if that was your main reason, I understand, man, you're out because they took away your thing. But I just played it because it worked on my phone. It worked on my laptop. It worked right there. That's why I love Stadia. So for me, when SG&E closed, what I love Stadia for never died. I was like, it still works.
If people were upset because Bethesda closed their doors, I could understand, because Bethesda's put out games. They've put out great games. They've gotten people emotionally invested in the content that they have created, right? There was one game that we missed. One game that we missed. They had no track record for making games. What can you miss that you didn't have?
Now, these people lost their job, And the press release said they were going to try to find them other opportunities within Google, which is fine. But they're going to go and call, and this is not, I'm just going to pick somebody, they're going to call Bethesda, or they're going to call Liquid Bit, or they're going to call Richard over at name escaping me. And they're going to say, hey, here's my resume. By the way, I spent a year at Google, right? If you spent a year at IBM and then you were let go, or you spent a year at whatever, that shows some clout. That looks good on a resume. So
that's experience.
It's the experience, right? And maybe this company will pick them up because they know Google, or you worked at Google. Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
I'm a manager. I hire people. I just had resumes come in, and I had a guy that worked at, let's just say, ABC Industries, and I had a guy that worked on a Canon account. Look at that guy that worked at the Canon account, because I know that they hold their employees to a certain standard, and he has things that he has gone through on a corporate level that other guy doesn't even know exist. Not that other guy may not be talented, but I am going to look at the guy that comes with some track record.
It's the same reason why you tell your kids to go to college, right?
Yep.
You go to college, get that degree. It's powerful. Same reason why some people get out the military, be like, hey, I was a veteran or whatever, right? It is what it is.
But the flip side of that too is that I am going to interview that other guy, and I am going to hold the guy that works at Canon to a little bit stricter narrative, to where if he's not able to answer my questions the way that I want them answered, well, then he's blowing smoke. And then I'm more to look at the other guy, right? I like looking at the little guy. So don't say anything, Ray. That came out of my mouth wrong. Jesus. I know it's coming. It's in the chat already.
You got to tackle the narrative before they get to it.
I had to change the damn logo for our show because you put the damn word men in my mouth, and now everybody's like, oh, Ryzak has men in his mouth. I'm like, Jesus.
I think Ray, somebody said that. I forgot to tell you that. It was like, why is it might have been Jeff. I don't know, but somebody was like, why does Ryzak have men in his mouth?
Jesus.
Anyway, guys, so let's move on. So first of all, let's do this. Let's just look, guys, we might can't get to every comment, but I will make sure every comment pops up on the screen. So anybody who watches this back, they will at some point still see your comment. But yeah, we got Bruce in the building, Stadia Life's in the building, Ray's in the building, Vet Cloud Gamers in the building, Spectre's in the building, Chariot Man Gaming, obviously Ryzak is here. Let's see. Chariot Man was talking for a while. Doc Dark jumped up in here. Jamie Lee is in here.
Doc Dark jumped right out.
Yep, he was like, "Oh, they're talking about Stadia."
Popped in. I'm gone.
Sean's in here. Cloud Gaming Extreme is in here. Not sure if he's still in here. He might hate me for this, but we're gonna be all right. Stadia Pro Game is in here.
Don't do it.
Listen, bro, we're gonna get to it. So listen.
You don't have to clip it. We can just go and download the video. I know Vet tried to clip my UFC rant, and he's not sure if he caught the whole thing. And I'm just gonna download the video, and I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna pull it into my Filmora, and I'm gonna slice it up.
Or you could do what I do.
I'm gonna do all sorts of fun stuff before I could do what I do on the TikTok.
You could do what I do. You could just screen record it. But anybody got
an Apple phone.
Yeah. Okay.
The Google phone.
So after the SG&E thing, we got to bring this up, man. Duncan said Stadia is dead, and everybody lost their mind. We talked about
Brian.
Brian.
You say Tuesday night this was over?
Yeah, but this is still on the list.
I'm just messing with you.
No,
right,
but
it's over as of July 12th.
It was over on Tuesday.
In February.
Listen, I just said Stadia won the war is what I said. All right. The war.
All right, go ahead.
February news.
So anyway, Duncan said Stadia. He said it on an episode of Cloudburst, and like he said, I wasn't the first to say it, but for whatever reason, when he said it, everybody, I literally had somebody come up to me and say, "Oh my God, you hear what Duncan said?" I said, "Let's hear what?" On Cloudburst, he said Stadia was going to die in 6 months. I was like, what dummy would say that? So I had to watch it, and I was like, oh damn, he actually said that. He said, Stadia is going to die, and so much that Brian, we've mentioned, did a video. I pulled it up the other day. Had probably about 10 times the clip. He cut the clip and had Duncan, Stadia is dead. Stadia is dead. So what do you guys think about that? I'm not gonna lie, guys. And I told him this personally on the show, so I could say it, but I said, dude, you went from being a guy that supported Stadia heavily. So when you just came out in public and said Stadia is dead or gonna die, what did you think the backlash? You thought they was gonna say nothing? Like you were, you know.
Jay, go ahead. What do you go first?
All right. So, all right, Duncan, you got me blocked. I don't really care. But okay, as Cowboy said, when you go through and you support something so heavily and then something happens and you switch pace that fast, seriously, what are you expecting to happen? You think that people are going to agree with you? You think that people are just going to stay quiet and be like, all right, whatever. Like, I got pissed off because you can't sit there and say that. You can't sit there and support something so heavily, and because something bad happened or people are leaving, oh, it's dead. Oh, I don't like it anymore. That just shows that you were never there to support it in the first place, and you're just as bad as the other people that are sitting there changing their pace depending on whatever their narrative is and whatever's happening at the time. And that honestly pissed me off. Yeah. So
what you got, Jeff?
I've stated this, I think, publicly before. I don't care what Killed by Google says. I don't care what Katuku or whatever the hell that fake news is.
That's Jay's favorite magazine.
Oh no, I'm done with Kotaku, especially after what they just did.
I don't care what Duncan says. And the other thing is, the thing that nobody knows what's going inside the Googleplex. So people can say Stadia's dead. People can say Stadia's alive. Nobody knows what's going on within the Googleplex. I don't know if you're going to get to the developer stuff from last week. Is that on your list, Anthony? Or is that next week's show?
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was really drama. It's probably the biggest win for Stadia, to be honest with you.
No, but drama. But people don't, and we talked about this on one of the shows. People don't understand how business works.
Yeah.
They don't understand how businesses work. And I've seen tweets and I've seen stuff like, oh, they're changing the revenue model. And you don't understand how it works today. You haven't read the non-disclosure. You haven't signed the Google non-disclosure. Otherwise, you wouldn't be talking. You don't understand how business works. So I sign non-disclosure documents. Isaac, you're probably the same in stuff that you do. At least once a week, if not daily, right? There's all sorts of stuff that crosses my desk. Same with you, and you're in property management, right? There's all sorts of, you guys be trying to buy a building or something's going on. There's all sorts of stuff you can't say, right? It's the same. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, nor should we. Just shut up and play the games.
Yeah.
You don't know what you have no insider knowledge, because if you did, then you couldn't talk because of non-disclosures. Right?
Yeah, that's real. Give Sean a shout, because this is important, man. He said that's the main point. When I came on Stadia, he's talking about Duncan. When I came on Stadia, he was one of the people always posting about it. And when I saw him flip that hard and quick, I thought it was true. That's deep.
So I think I line up a little bit like Sean does there with a little bit different ending. When I came into, and I'm a founder, right? Day one had Stadia. I just wasn't into Twitter and doing all this. I just played games. We only had 22 at the time, and I didn't own all of them, but I just played games. And my story about getting started in this. I'm not going to go down that road again. Duncan was one of those people that I saw everywhere when I started looking at gaming Twitter. He had his little pink circle with his 1-2 escape and his little dude crawling up, and I kept checking out what he was doing, and I was siding with him on a lot of things. They did the Cloudy Awards. I thought it was really awesome that these guys got together, and was it high budget? No, but they really put a lot into that award show, and it really kind of brought me in. I was like, yeah, man, I want to be a part of this. This is cool, this and that. And then SGenie happened, and he changed. And so to keep consistent with what I said earlier, keyword consistent, he was climbing up that hill, right? And he got to a certain point, and then he just said, nope, I'm going right back down. But he stayed consistent on the way up, and he's been staying consistent on the way down. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I definitely.
He's not flip-flopping like a lot of people do.
Yeah, listen. Well, technically, hold on. Technically, Ryzak, can you say that? Because the other day he did this.
But he did say that it looked good, but he still said that he had concerns. And then he came out with another one yesterday and said that he ultimately thinks that it's going to a subscription-based model. So let's not just pinpoint one thing he said.
Hold on. Once, listen, for me, I'm the super troll. I had people listen. I'm trying to be the voice of reason. I had people come to me like, "Oh, Stadia's gonna." I said, listen, bro, your leader said Stadia is good, so I don't want to hear from you or the peanut gallery." They was like, "What?" I said, "Here's his tweet. You go read his tweet because I got nothing to say." So I hear what you're saying, but I don't even need to see nothing else. The man said, "You know what? I'm a man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and Stadia isn't gonna die." But all that other stuff, well, I'm just saying.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just
saying.
You asked for all of our opinions. I gave you my opinion.
I'm just saying.
He was steady on the way up, and he's been steady on the way down.
No, that is true, though. That is true.
So,
that is true.
One thing, real quick. So, I did see the comment saying that Stadia defenders.
Wait. Don't get on that yet. Don't get on yet. We're definitely going to get on that. I just want to give shout out to Caliber Killer for the $2. No, yes, man. Rolling uncut. Cool. But now let's definitely get to, and guys, we're not going to sit here and, argue with everybody, right? But Ace is a good guy in the community. I said a couple weeks ago, out of the big top guys, he probably comes to people's shows he used to come to people's show, the smaller guys a lot. And that's pretty cool. Because some of the big guys would be like, "What? I ain't wasting time," but he does. He came on my show. I can't compare myself to him. But so what I do want to say is I don't want everybody who disagree with something we're saying, we take the time to debate with them, whatever. But I think it is a good thing to express or have something to say what Ace is saying. So anyway, Ace says, "So y'all are pissed off because someone said Stadia is dead. Duncan didn't say y'all are dead. It's not that serious, y'all." And then his last comment, because I seen he had two, he said, "Y'all Stadia defenders take things to the heart. It's not that serious." So go ahead, Foremost.
All right. So backing up a little bit, like Ryzek said, Duncan, when I first got into Stadia, he was one of the people that I started following because I saw him as one of the people that got in early, and he was leading all of the news on everything concerning it, whether it was good or bad or whatever was going on. And I was depending on him for the news until I started easing myself into it. And like I said, I'm not saying that Stadia, I'm mad that you said Stadia was dead. Right. It's the fact of how fast you switch pace.
That flip.
Because of one little event. And yes, it was a big event. Yes, it was a concrete event. But the fact that you switched that hard is what really pissed me off. Not the fact that you said Stadia is dead. The fact that you said it that quickly based off one thing. So that's all I really got to say on that.
Oh, I said the other week too, my only issue I've ever had with Duncan is we can say positives about GFN, we can say positives about Luna, we can say positives about xCloud, but my God, let there be a positive about Stadia. And it's not just the positive about Stadia. It's, Stadia did this, but GFN does this and Luna does this. And, it just doesn't seem like he wants to just solely give that love in whatever his post is or whatever to Stadia without bringing somebody else into it like he does for those other platforms. But hey, there are, we've talked about this before too. We're Americans. Jeff, I'll consider you American. You're North American. We interpret things differently. Our humor is different than their humor, or the way that they may interpret things in, the United Kingdom, or what is he, Welsh? Is he from Wales? Is he Irish? What is he?
Just say Europe.
All right, whatever. I don't want to disrespect, his homeland, but I think that, there's definitely some misinterpretation there. And along lines with that, let me just say, because I know you're going to want to switch topics in a minute. It bothers me the picking that people do at certain people like Duncan, because he does go out and do a lot. He does go out and stay a lot. He puts his foot in his mouth. He's made apologies before. But you actually talked to him about it when you guys started your show that you did together, where he was getting like hate mail, man. He's getting like death threats, like whatever it is. We can disagree. And Jay, I know you call a lot of people out, but I doubt you're sending death threats to people.
No,
like,
I don't ever.
That is a whole nother level that should never happen. I don't care. I just don't. It's ridiculous, man. All over some damn video games, right?
Well, we don't do that in Canada.
That's because you're North American.
I'll say this about responding to Ace. Personally, Ace, I'm not pissed. I'm an a-hole, bro. I like to debate. I said this to Doc Dark and Jersey Chill Gaming and Beast of Truth. I said before video games, forget video games. I just like to debate. I've been debating since I was in, I ain't gonna say kindergarten, but in elementary school. And I don't like to lose also. So at the end of the day, if I pick a side, I just like to debate. So if I see you, it's like football. If you keep trashing my team and my team get a win, I'm going to be the loudest guy. So the thing is, are we pissed? No. I mean, I'm personally not speaking for myself. I'm not pissed that Duncan said they're going to die. I just was like, yo, this is crazy. Like I said, when somebody came to me and said, first of all, Duncan was a big supporter of the platform. So when he said they're going to die, I was like, I mean, I heard the SG&E thing, but I didn't think they was going to die. And I'm sure he knows more than I do behind the scenes. Like, wait, what? So for me, I just feel like, say what you want, but don't think, I'm not speaking for Isaac, Jeff, or Foremost. Don't think I'm going to be quiet. It's my favorite platform. So I have a stake into it, meaning that it's what I like to play. And I like the trash talk. I've been told everybody, bro, I wear a cowboy hat. I'm a wrestling fan. I got a persona. So if you trash in my thing, I'm going to trash you or your thing. I'm just keeping it real. So for me, it's just fun and games, entertainment. So if you're pissed off because we're sitting here talking about people who apparently was pissed off with Google, then that's on y'all. That's all I got to say. Jeff, did you want to say anything to his comment or no? You want to move on?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. So
I'm just reading the chat and killing myself laughing.
Jeff loves Justin Trudeau.
Well, let me try to make sure I'm pulling people comments up. I think I'll go to.
You have like a bobblehead of him back there, Jeff, somewhere? Was that what you were looking for?
Let's see.
I was looking for another Canadian flag, but I put them all away. I just got this little one here behind me.
Anyway, guys, so the next thing on the list,
and just Mr. Urban World, this is also my Twitch, it's also my Twitter, it's also my YouTube channel. It's not
that was cool that he said.
His government name.
What Jeff is talking about is branding. Jeff is big on branding. He always wear his shirt to show his brand, which is cool.
We're gonna brand Jeff one day. One day he's gonna take his shirt off. It's gonna say @JeffJanak on his chest and smoke.
Oh, I got the Go Canada in the house. Anyway, guys, the next thing is, damn it, we're getting into some deep waters now. But it's on the list, and you guys seen the list.
What number are we at now? Because I know there's like 17 things on here.
It's not 17. Don't worry about the number.
I never saw the list. I just ignored those messages.
We're at, and again, we can keep it short. We're at Stadia Source changes to GSN. Anybody want to speak on that and the drama it kind of did in the community?
I'm actually surprised they weren't that right from the beginning. Why not, right out of the box, just talk about all gaming? Why make it Stadia specific? Just cover all gaming.
Well, the reason being,
I didn't understand that to begin with.
So as you know,
a full disclosure, I never watched any of their shows. I don't think I've ever been to their website. I'm not a member of their website. I got all my other Stadia news from other Stadia themselves or other things. I don't think I've ever been to that website. I don't think I've ever watched any of their shows.
I didn't start using it until the person I'm not supposed to talk about left.
I don't know anybody on the team. I know you did some content. I know other people have done content for them. Sorry, what did you say?
I said I didn't start using it until the person I'm not supposed to start talking about left. Now I use it as research for the game show. Woo!
There you go.
And I believe one of your questions was wrong. Your research was wrong.
Tonight at 8:00 on your channel, is that right?
It is tonight at 8:00. Yeah.
Unless somebody's is mad and doesn't.
All right,
show
listen.
up.
Can we get through this, man?
Are you still here? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Listen, I just want to say, Jeff, Dan was the one that created it. It started off with the website. And literally, number one source of state and news and reviews. They had literally the number one non-made by Google website, But his thing is he was an Xbox guy. He used to have a similar thing for Xbox, and he got out of it. And then when Stadia, he got back in the game, and he wanted to just make a Stadia Source, and that was it. So that's why there was not a everything. He was really behind Stadia Source, and again, that's why in order, SG&E happened, and people lost their minds. And down the pike, they end up deciding, you know what? We might as well just cover everything. But I
shout out to Dan because he's put a lot of time into that website, man.
Hell yeah, man.
He has done.
Dan is the nicest guy I met in the community.
He's nice.
I got nothing bad to say about Dan. Besides,
oh man.
All right, let me stop. Dan, you don't have no balls. Listen, man. When me and Avery had beef, I was expecting you to be like, listen. All right. But no, you just let us have to go at it between ourselves. And I said, you know what? I'm going to handle it. I'll talk to him myself. Anyway, but I think the thing is Stadia Source was a big pillar for the community. A lot of people looked up to Stadia Source. And when they talked about changing the name, I was 100% against it. I just felt like, man, Stadia is going to get over this hump of bad news. And when they do, whoever stuck to solely Stadia, when the new people, because let's just be real, there's going to be new people that's going to come in, and they're going to look at the Cowboys or the Ryzaks and the Jeffs and the Foremost. Well, Foremost probably be kicked out the community by then. But the Game and Cyborg, and these people are going to be the new people, and they're going to be like, oh man, who, like you said, who do I go to for my news? And I felt like Stadia Source was like the pinnacle of just Stadia news. So for me, it was like, damn, something was dying for me when they changed the name. And then that was also helped the narrative because people took it and ran with it like, oh, see, Stadia is going to die. Here's another one. So for me, I felt that was a big blow to the community. What?
Let me ask you something, Anthony. When you buy a product online, do you go look at the reviews?
I do, yeah. Some of them.
Which reviews do you look at? Do you look at the positive reviews or the negative reviews?
I'm not gonna lie. I want to see if it's trash or not.
So it's easy to push the negative narrative and get more people to jump on board with that because everybody wants to know what the negative is. They don't want to know what the positive is.
Yep.
I look at both. And and I look at the ratio of good to bad. So if there are 10 comments and there's one bad one, okay. Same thing with movies. 10 people could say, I saw Black Widow, and one person will go, oh, I didn't like it. Well, I'm not going to focus on that one. If 9 people said they didn't like it, right? I've also had people go, oh, I can't go to that pizza. I had one bad pizza at that pizza place, so I'll never go back. Really? You had one bad pizza, and now you're never going back to Ryzak's Pizza? Really? So I look at both and judge and maybe somebody maybe somebody had a bad. I've seen people on Troll Book. And they're like, oh, I went to here and it was this, that, and the other. It's like, well, did you talk to the owner? Did you talk to that? No, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to bitch about him on Troll Book. Well, who cares? I don't care about you. I'm going to go and I'm going to try it for myself and make my own opinion on.
What website did you say they're going to go to?
Troll Book. The one that Anthony, that website from 2007 that Anthony clearly does not know how to use.
You talking about Facebook?
I want to mention something that Sean L. I don't know if you can find his his
right
tweet. No, before that.
Okay, yeah, he said something about they called him a traitor. Hold up.
Nope.
That was Ray.
Right. Yes, this one. I actually think, no disrespect to Sean, I think most people worked at changing their name after Stadia came out with the official branding rules of when to use the name. That is when a lot of people started wanting to switch their name.
But that was after the SG&E thing.
It was after.
It wasn't because of it.
But that was not. It's not because of it. It's because Google came out and said, if you're going to use Stadia, here are the rules, and I want you to follow our rules, which I have no issue with. Now back to the Stadia Source GSN thing. If it was a business decision, in order to make other content, more money, ad revenue, all that kind of business stuff. Again, it all comes back to business. If it was a business decision, I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
You know, people rebrand, people pivot all the time from, look at Twitter. They're getting rid of fleets. I love fleets. I may be one of the 9 people in the world that use them. Most of you are going,
I don't even know what that is.
You guys, I know because none of you guys look at my fleets. I'm just saying, people, they try something and it either works or it fails, or they go, you know what, we can increase our revenue, right?
Right.
Ryzak's company, they do, you don't own just a building. You own many buildings. Why? It's because you want to increase your revenue.
Yeah, it's true. But I will say this. Remember my thing when all that happened? I kept screaming intentions. So it's kind of what Jeff is saying. It depends on what you're doing things for, right? Remember, we're in a gaming community. I think Foremost killed it. He said, when I was into the community, I was looking for people to learn, get news from until I started finding my own way, right? So if I'm looking at you, again, the moment the camera turned on, the moment I put a tweet, I'm in the public eye. That's why people like, you can't say my name, Sammy. I can say your name, Sammy, because it's public record. It's public knowledge. I'm sorry to tell you that, but go call the courts and subpoena me to not be able to say your name again.
I love you too, Sammy. Don't subpoena me, subpoena Anthony.
It's the same way when someone wants to ask why you're jumping into a thread on Twitter, and I'm like, it's a public thread. I was like, where does it say I can't voice my opinion or say the opposite of you? Because last I checked, your name's not on it. My name's not on it. Everybody can see it. It's not like the thread is locked. So I'm going to hop in if I want to.
I love that you put a big target on your back every time you go into those things. Most people would run away, and you just feed off of that stuff.
I just don't care. I like seeing them cry. I like seeing them watch. I like watching them fall apart when I start dismantling.
So let me just get through this. So it's cool. We kind of tackled Stadia Source, but talking about crying is a good segue. So we're going to talk about Chase leaving the community. I'm sorry, I had to do that. He said crying. My bad. But so to catch everybody up to speed, Chase has been in the community for a while. He left before I was told. I wasn't around then, and then he came back, and then he was really upset. He felt like, listen, this wishy-washy people switching around. He decided to write this long letter and put it on public record, so it's out there. All right, and told everybody goodbye. He's leaving. He's upset with, and I was one of them. He was upset with me because I was running hard with people changing their names and all that stuff. And he felt, I was one of the people that kind of pissed him off. And but he didn't say specific names. He just said everybody has to deal with it. So him and I also started a show. We was planning on doing a show about wrestling. And so he left the community. I'll tie it all up. So when he left the community, everybody went crazy. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And so that's when I started doing the show, having people on, and he inboxed me and said, listen, I want to come on. It was probably a couple of days after that because people was roasting him, going crazy. And he said, I want to come on and actually tell how I feel. And I'm only want to talk to you. And I was like, oh, snap, I'm breaking the story. He was like, but I could only do it now. And I had just got off with Avery, doing my thing with Avery. And I said, bro, let's go. I said, give me 15 minutes. And so we jumped on, we do the video. And he got to express his feelings and tell how he felt. And but people went crazy when he wrote his letter to leave. That was definitely big drama at the time. And then what goes right after that, if we could, I don't know if you guys want to bundle it, but when Chase put his letter out, Stadia 100 was formed. And it was kind of like Chase big statement was the Stadia community is toxic. And that's what pissed people off. Because he said the community is toxic. And so
Jay, what do you think about that? I want to hear what Jay has to say.
Me too.
All right. So when Chase left, that really did suck too, because I see Chase and his the gaming advocate brand as something really good. Then he branched off to the consumer advocacy, and that's a really good thing to do in what he does, because in the end, no matter what you say or do, the consumers are what drive the product. It's not the product that they do. It's not the tech that they come out. If the consumer doesn't like it, then you have nothing. It doesn't matter how good it is. And yeah, that's when Stadia 100 was born. And at the start, I didn't want to use that hashtag because it felt like at that point, the Stadia community is becoming just like anyone else, where it's like an exclusive hashtag and nobody else can use it if you're not part of the Stadia community. And I didn't want that. Eventually, I started doing that because it started being a hashtag specifically to Stadia to reach out for people.
Right.
Like I've been seeing some of the comments saying they only care about specific Stadia content. That's what I started using the hashtag for, not to give myself an identity with the specific platform or anything, just so people had a hashtag to look for if they wanted to find anything specific.
Right.
Stadia 100 was never a problem for me. Team Stadia was. And the reason that Team Stadia hashtag was a problem for me is because I can't remember. There were two people that were mostly responsible for it. They made a list of content creators and put on there, and 3/4 of those people were not Stadia centric anymore. They branched out into all of this cloud gaming. So they were like, they made this big letter and this big post, and they were like, we love Stadia and we love what it does, but you should be able to play where you want to play, Team Stadia. And it was like, man, that's like being in the middle of a game and at halftime you realize that the score is lopsided for the other team. So you go switch locker rooms at halftime and go jump into the other squad so that you can win. Like, what are y'all doing? I don't use Team Stadia because of that reason. A lot of people do. How are you team anything if you're going to sit there and say you're team cloud gaming then? You're not Team Stadia.
Well, I want you to actually talk about the Chase thing, but I want to bring some light to that. So what Ryzak is talking about is primarily started with Avery and Stadia Source. So they made a thing out there when Google was getting trashed and ragged through Stadia through the mud. SG&E. People was like, oh, Stadia's gonna die. So Avery and some people at Stadia Source, remember, I was part of Stadia Source, so they came up with this. Hey, let's do a thing called Team Stadia, and we want to make it so bold that Google notices this, right? And they did. They literally had it reached. People. It literally had a reach, and it's cool, guys. They had that list. My channel name was first on the list. I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, Stadia 100. Just to back it up. When the Chase thing happened, and I'm just being candid, MN2K actually reached out to me and said, dude, I like what you're doing in the community. You're diehard for Stadia. It'd be cool if you be a part of an initiative we're trying to do. At the time, they didn't even have a name for it. So it was me. It was 5 people. It was me, Clive, John Scar, Jack, 6 people, sorry, MM2K and Project Storm. We all had a thing. We was trying to come up with a name. MM2K led the charge. Stadia 100 was formed, but I even admit I was saying it wrong. I was kind of thinking it was more just a Stadia. If your channel wasn't Stadia, that eccentric, because I was like, my channel isn't. I can't be on it. And Clive checked me. Clive was like, no. I was doing a live stream, and Clive was watching. He said, no. Anybody could be a part of Stadia 100. If you just make any individual content that's only Stadia, then you could use the hashtag. And I was like, okay, so that's pretty much the legitimacy of it. But it did kind of start because Chase did say everybody was toxic, and MM2K was like, you know what? We kind of need to show we're not toxic, but we need to show that people who love Stadia and just only want Stadia content, well, if you put the hashtag, then at least the new people who come in or people could say, oh, this is how I could find Stadia. Like I was doing a thing for the SBCN. 100% Stadia committed. I was saying that way before Stadia 100 started. But anyway, right, what's your thing on Chase? Because you didn't touch that at all.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm late to the party with a lot of these content creators and things that they did. I don't really know what led up to the Chase thing. I remember seeing this letter. I don't have an issue with Chase. I think that he's fantastic. I've enjoyed seeing some of the stuff that he's done. He's jumped in a couple of my streams, and I super appreciate it. So I don't have anything specific to say to him. What I will say though is that if y'all want to leave, and I'm speaking to everybody here, you guys in this chat and you guys on this show, if you want to leave. Why you got to announce it? Why you got to make a big production of it? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. It makes you look not very good. That probably wasn't proper English to say. I was going to say something else and I pulled it back in. But you know, it's like you see people. I don't have Facebook anymore, but you'd see people on Facebook. I'm deleting my Facebook account.
Right.
Oh, why you let me know? You know, like go. I don't give a shit. Like there's like this big production, and if you're saying that you know he did this, I know of many more people that have done the same thing.
Right.
You know, through tweets or letters, and you know, I love Jack. I know Jack had made a big thing one time, and I don't feel the need to see why you need to put out there all of these feelings about something like it's this big production. I don't know. I'm not going to be doing this forever. I mean, hell, I'm surprised I've lasted doing it this long. Let's be honest with you. But when I go, I'm going to go because I think that the idea of what happened, you know,
Right.
It might only last for 30 seconds, but I like that idea better, you know. But have you seen Ryzak lately? Like, where'd that guy go? The guy was such an asshole. Had a shitty game show.
Nobody.
He's terrible at Rocket League, and you know, thought he looked like Captain America. I didn't say that.
Okay, I'm better than you at Rocket League. We all know that. So
hey,
sorry.
We can 101 right here on the show. I am ready.
Hey, you've seen my clips. The clips speak for themselves.
So, Jeff, you got anything to say about the Chase and Stadia 100?
See, I'm old and stupid. I don't think Chase has ever been to any of my streams. I don't think I've been to any of his streams. I saw the hashtags, and I still use the hashtags, and I just went, oh, I can throw the hashtag out. Maybe somebody will see it who doesn't know my stream, and maybe somebody will pop in. Mm-hmm. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, the team Stadia had like, I don't know, a board or had a group of people or I didn't even know that. I just thought it was people just started using a hashtag. And I know then the only reason I know that for Stadia 100, because you kept tweeting for weeks, going big announcement. And it was like, we're going to make a hashtag. It's like, oh, Christ, why am I wasting my time on this? Right. So I just took them as what hashtags are. A way to advertise and group content together. Yes. That's all I figured, like every other hashtag that exists out there. And so, there's a hashtag for Team Stadia. I like Stadia. I'm a founder. I've been making content since day one of Stadia, off and on, not as often as I am now, but back in the day, you can go back and find some old Stadia videos and stuff that I did last summer and whatnot. And okay, I'll use it if you know, because maybe Jay will not know me and he'll see my he doesn't follow me on the Twitter. He doesn't follow me on the
likes
Twitter.
To die at Blue Fire
maybe he would see my tweet in the hashtag and maybe he'd pop in and say hello and maybe I might gain a follower. So that's how I took them. I'm just too old to care about all the drama and all the crap. And I don't think Chase has ever been to any one of my streams, and that's okay. And I've never been to any of his shows, and that's okay. And that's how I took it. It wasn't until recently I discovered there was a board or a group behind the whole Team Stadia thing. And I know, you and some other people were doing the Stadia 100 thing in your big announcement show and all that other nonsense.
It was absurd.
So that's I just used it. Hashtags are used to promote and group things together.
Well, you know what? And that's I think we just explained it wrong when it first came out, but I think it started with emotions. And I'm always the big person to say, I will always take logic over emotions. And I think that's what happened. So it was created with emotions and it came out the wrong way. But it really is exactly what you said. And it's really just supposed to be, I call it free advertisement. You just use the hashtag. And if somebody searched the hashtag, and then your stuff could come up. Guys, so now I want to.
But we're Team Stadia, but we're gonna play every other platform because they deserve our love too.
Well, I think that you do all right when people was Team Stadia, but then switched. But everybody has the right to change their mind. I guess what it comes down to. So
I think I'm just bummed out that we use Stadia 100 instead of Team Stadia, and all those people got to beat us to it, man. Because Team Stadia would definitely be the better hashtag, but now I can't use it because I'm disgusted by that whole event that went down. Yeah, I said disgusted. I had a tweet about it too. Same tweet I just said. It irked me, man. Irked me.
So mad. So mad, this guy.
Okay,
So,
hey, we got to give Jay some love to talk about some stuff he want to talk about too. Don't forget.
oh yeah, definitely, because he's next. Because my next thing is Peter Cottontail leave the SBCN. So the
What a
reason why I'm
segue.
bringing this up
I didn't,
is
I didn't even know he was in the SBCN. Sorry.
For
yeah,
a little bit.
he
Yeah.
used to, yeah.
I remember he threw a little temper tantrum and he was like, "Nobody comes and watches my stuff
Yeah.
anyway. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna do it."
Yeah, it's so I want to bring that up. So here's what happened. I feel like I'm like a manager or something, right? People join and then they say, "Hey, Aunt, schedule this person," and cool, I'm gonna schedule them. And this guy below me, I swear, when the whole thing blew up, Peter was like, "All right, let me start over." Right. So anyway, Peter was on the schedule, supposed to do his streams, I believe, on Fridays, right?
Thursdays, yeah.
Okay, Thursdays. And if correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Peter Cottontail, if that is your real name, I don't think you ever did a single straight hour show.
I have done a straight hour show.
Have you
and
now?
You had a habit of joining in when I only had like 15, 20 minutes left in the stream. And then it was over because I was under the impression that, all right, you have a strict 1 hour time slot. And because we got to keep it within a strict time frame, once that hour is up, I'm cutting the stream. I'm out. Bye. Y'all won't see me anymore on stream.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
so
Yeah.
there were a few times where, yes, believe it or not, I actually did do I can't talk, a few full hour streams, but I would cut them early because I was doing it after working an early AM shift, and with that time slot that was available, I was honestly starting to fall asleep during the stream. So a lot of times, if I didn't see any engagement or anything like that, or anything to keep me going or feel like I wanted to keep going, I was gone. So that's why I said a lot
So
of
what you're
It's
saying,
like 9:30 in the morning.
what you're saying is you as a grown adult picked the time slot that you couldn't follow yourself. Is that what I'm hearing?
Basically, yeah, I underestimated my own ability to adhere to that time, which, yes, I am a grown-ass man, and I picked up that time.
Now, the reason why I had to put light on that. So there was a bunch of times I'm like, because again, just want you to know, right? Because you said you might not know how long I stream. Since the SBCN started back in December, I have clicked on every single stream because I am the only person that actually takes everyone's stream and put it in a playlist so it will be there forever. So every stream you ever did, I might have, even if I came in at 15 minutes before it ended, that never really happened because you never went that long. But I know because I clicked on your stream to know you ain't never do a damn hour. You never did an hour. Now, I would get behind the scenes with the guys, which was Vet and Spectre. I don't know if Ray, I guess, was a part of the management team at the time. And I'm like, they're like, "Oh, did Cottontail go?" I'm like, "He did like 15 minutes." And so me, I'm like, it is what it is. So Vet was pissed off. We need to fire this guy. I said, Vet, nobody can fire nobody. People are just they're giving their own time. We ain't paying nobody. Nah, man. So Vet got pissed off. So I said, listen, I'll talk to people. So I hit you up and you were like, listen, man, nobody's coming to my stream. I said, dude, you didn't even stream. You was like, yes, I did. And I got to call you out, bro. You was like, I was streaming on Twitch. I said, you were streaming on Twitch? Yeah, I said, when the hell did we start streaming SBCN on Twitch? Oh, well, I didn't realize that how did you not realize? I was like, what? So you was like, well, that's when you was like, well, people don't be watching my streams anyway. I said, bro, it don't even matter. Like, you never did a full stream. How are you streaming on Twitch? You talking about falling asleep, but it was, you and me was cool though. So that's why I like you, man.
You guys did all this in the Discord too. So we were all watching this like,
listen, bro, we was cool. So then that was like, we're getting rid of him. And all jokes aside, bro, Vet just blocked him. He's out of here.
Oh, yeah, like, Vet out of nowhere, bro, blocked me. And I'm like, no disrespect, but I'm like,
yeah, so that's when you had hit me up and was like, yo, I said, listen, bro, I don't control the Discord. So, but I'll try to talk to him. I was like, bro, you blocked him. He was like, oh, well, he need to learn how to do his stuff. I was like, so that's why this is on here, because it was some drama, because you had your own stuff. You and me talked about it, but my man did block you. And I was like, oh, man. And Contel went to Twitter. He went to Twitter, was like, yo, this is messed up. And I had to do damage control because I just didn't want the narrative to look like we was this evil whatever, but I ain't block him. But somebody from the SPC and management did block him, and it did look kind of crazy. But
I tell you, I thought it might have been SG&E, but now I'm thinking about the fact that you left the SPCN may be why the numbers went down on the streamers. This may be your fault and all your fault.
Yep.
So, hey, bro, it's okay.
You know?
I'm just a magnet for bad attention. I get it. Still, none. Don't. Out the window, gone. Later.
That's what's up, man. Listen, you gotta be you. So, what do you got to say about this, Rizek? What happened in the history of the SPCA?
It caught me off guard because I have many good interactions with Jay on Twitter. We share Rocket League posts together, and I tell you, there's a lot of people that do retweet my ridiculous tweets. I could probably go to his Twitter page and see almost every single one of my tweets retweeted. He does it for a lot of people, but he does it a lot for me. So, I actually did jump into a couple of your streams. However, you went so early. That's why I made fun of the fact you went at like 9:30, because it's middle of my damn work day. So I only get so much time to get on my phone during the work day. All you people that don't have jobs that can just stream all day, man, I hate all of you, because I want to do that.
Preach that.
I know. I want to do that. And I'd love to be playing Red Dead and, Rainbow Six with y'all at 11 o'clock in the morning with my fuzzy slippers on and my Captain Crunch next to me. But I can't. I got shit to do. So when I saw all that go down, I was like, oh, man, this is one of the guys that I really like. Like, what the hell is going on? I had no input in what was going on in the SPCN because I just started too. I still don't have any input in it. And I don't want any input in it. But when I saw it go down, it hurt me a little bit, because that's my guy right there. Like, he may not know it, but that's why I wanted him to be on the show. I was kind of hoping I could get him to do a face reveal. I wrote him on the side.
My name is Jay. I just send waves.
Yeah, man. I was like, what do you want us to call you today? Because I don't know if I even know your name, and he was like, well, what do we do with the show? I said, man, you can come on camera, you can come off camera. And then when he came into the lobby, he had the camera on. I was like, no shit.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to have the camera on.
He took it serious. I love it.
Oh, I have a camera. I just don't use it often. But
no, I just didn't think he was going to have it on. But
I don't care.
A lot of people are giving you credit, man. A lot of people in the chat like you. A lot of people said you support them. So that's pretty cool, though, man. But how did you feel, though, when you got Jeff, so what do you got to say on this story?
I have nothing. I didn't know he was on the SPCN.
I saw you, I think, one time, Jeff, pop up in the chat, but then you said you were busy or something, and then you were gone in not even 5 minutes, and then never saw you again.
Yo, Jeff was like the greatest thing.
Yeah, you know what? You are correct. I stand corrected. Yes, I think I did pop into one of your streams. Again,
I was playing Dragon Quest and you popped in.
Again, yes, it was probably like Rizek, the middle of the day. I do that with William streams because he streams at 1 o'clock my time. Right. And I know Squids does the same thing. We kind of fly in, give you a view, make a like, and then I got to go back to work. Right. Mm-hmm. So I in between Zoom meetings, I think you're right. It was recently too. I think I popped in one of your streams. I said hi, gave you a like, and I moved on because I had to get back to work.
Damn, Ray.
Jeff, you see what Ray just said?
No, I blocked Ray. So
way to swing for the fence, bro.
Yo, man.
Bro, some power right there.
So listen. Let me do this. Jeff, you brought up something earlier, but it was actually on the list to go on. So I want to bring it up now as next on the list. And since you were the last person speaking, unless you have anything else to say, well, you pretty much said you didn't even know Cottontail existed. But let's bring this up, Jeff, and you could take it away. Community name changes. Let's talk about that little episode. Oh my God.
I'm gonna bow out of this one.
I think a lot of it happened, and you guys can all correct me. I think a lot of it happened. There's Anthony eating again. Christ, he's always eating.
Mm-hmm.
Does he ever do a stream where he's not eating? I guess when he's lying in bed with those creepy ones where he's in bed with his wife. I think a lot of the name changing happened when Stadia came out, where Google came out with the official rules and how to use the name and how to use the brand, which I, again, as a branding guy, I have no issue with. That's what I think a lot of it happened. I don't think it had anything. It was not a reaction to SG&E. It wasn't a reaction. It was people. Google said, here's how we want you to behave. Here's how we want you to, as the brand owner, they have every right to do that, right? If you do something wrong and Coca-Cola doesn't like what you've done, they're going to come after you, right? And so, and so there were some people who, said, we're going to change our names. Right. I have no issue with that. Now, I know what you're going to bring up. You're going to bring up one random tweet that I made Saturday morning.
Oh, you're going to bring it
up,
Jeff?
No. I'm not even bringing that up. I mean, that happened so far down the line. Like that was that's on the list, but that wasn't even then. Like,
but so and again, if people wanted to change their names from being Stadia Gamer to Cloud Gamer or whatnot, and to more reflect their new brand, if that's what they want, again, companies change the names. You guys are all too young to remember, but Coke changed their product, and they came up with something that was called New Coke.
That's why it sounds addicting.
I took the cocaine out. I remember that, Jeff. I remember that.
Right, and it was, and they tried something new. It was a dismal failure, and they had to go back to the original cocaine-filled recipe.
What about what about the clear Pepsi? That was also awful.
I'm not a Pepsi guy. I'm a Coke guy. So
I have never.
I don't drink that piss water called Pepsi. Anyways, no offense to the Pepsi people, but again, if you wanted to rebrand and couple with a nice new brand and go for it. I think some of it had to do with Google and Stadia coming out with their official. Here's how we want to. And
all right, so listen.
Would they come after any streamer? Probably not. They're going to come after huge companies trying to copy, capitalize on the name or something. That they're not going to come after some Captain America wannabe sitting in North Carolina, close to the Epic headquarters, because he's Stadia Ryzak.
Hey, listen,
yeah,
Jeff, you being really cute. You got the gloves on. Let me take them off. Now, what happened with the whole thing was somebody went on Twitter and posted something that's been out forever. These companies don't just a year and a half later decide to put a clause together.
No.
Excuse me. These clauses was put together from the beginning. So these clauses are here for if you use their name in a derogatory manner. Like if you are called Stadia Vet, and all of a sudden you start talking about child pornography, right? Then if they get sued, they're able to say, hey, we have this clause and they illegally used our name. There's people who have a huge channels called PlayStation this and Xbox that. Sony and Microsoft never came after them because they didn't use it out of context, but they can. Now, the reason why I'm taking the gloves off, yes. So I want to use a word that Ryzak was harping on earlier. It's called consistent. We know that the big drama happened because of me. Why? Because I put a post out there. I said, in light of the increasing amount of people who are changing their name, I did something, blah, blah, blah. So people was like, wow, he's throwing shots. But you know what I did? Everybody who's my friend, like a lot of European guys, they thought it was cute when I said the same thing a month prior, and it had to do with GSN, Stadia, what the hell's the name again? Stadia Source going to GSN. So everybody that was my friends thought it was cute and was like, yeah. Then when a month later, I don't know if the story is true, but I heard that Eddie was the person who found the docket and just like reposted it because it's been in the wild, but he reposted it and a bunch of people seen it. Whether that's true or not, that's just what I heard. Eddie Player One was the one, so I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. So anyway, so people seen it and was like, oh my God, a Stadia. It said if you use the logo, it can't be crooked. All this stuff was in the document, right? So and anyway, this was something on Stadia Source one night. We was all talking behind the scenes. We mentioned this months ago. I already knew it was a thing. It's what companies do. Anyway, people got flipped, right? But I get it because it seemed like I was calling out my friends. But I was being consistent because if it was right for me to do it to GSN, then I'll sit back and don't do it to my friends. Then I'll get favoritism. So I made the post. So much backlash. People was pissed off at me. Even Stadia Dad changed his name to Cloud Gaming Dad. I love that dude, man. Nobody, listen, I said a lot of stuff and I don't care. But I said a lot of stuff and didn't care. But I actually felt bad because one, I didn't think he was going to take it to heart. And two, that's the last person he's such a nice guy. I don't think that guy ever did anything wrong in his life.
Bro, I love him, dude. I love, like, we'll play Siege together sometimes whenever they see me on. They be inviting me. I'm like, all right, I'm down. I was like, we'll just sit in the chat and be talking while we're playing. So I love that dude.
And every chance he gets, he likes to slap Ray dead in video games. So I love him too.
And I felt really bad.
Ray dead in video games.
Well, it's easy. Anytime you turn on a game, you'll see Ray dead in a video.
But I mean, that's the behind the scenes. So a bunch of people was changing their names, and you know, people was upset mainly at me, but it created another like, oh, people are now we can't change our names. But then people, and then I remember Avery said this live. The week later, or that whenever it happened, coming up to that Stadia Source episode of the podcast Roundtable, literally he said, "Oh, people fell for that." This was his exact words, and he had a smirk on his face because they know that Stadia is not coming after you, but because somebody posted it, people went crazy. You did fall for it. People fell for thinking, "Oh my God, I got to change my name," and you
know, though, not everybody has the same insight into certain legality things as others. And for somebody that, and let me use Lee as an example, right? I don't know this for a fact, but Lee got started not all that long ago, and he does a lot of the same things that I do with his family involved and things. And so he's a business owner. When you start thinking about, you know, oh, wow, like I could possibly lose something that I've worked my ass off for, that's a little scary. And maybe I just don't even want to go down that road. So some people are like, hey, let me not even worry about that at all. And let me just go ahead and wipe my hands of that. I'm still going to talk about it and love it and play it and do what I do. But I can just say this, and I can avoid anything that could possibly happen, right? I don't know if that's why he did it or not, but I could definitely see there being some worry for some people. You were in advertising marketing for a long time, and you did research. You know, Jeff, you made it well known you're in business and you know all about Google and this. Not everybody has that insight that you guys do into these things, and so I could see where, you know, for certain individuals, that was something they want to do. On the flip side of that, though, there were people that SG&E pissed off, and they were like, man, I'm not going down with this ship, so I'm going to go latch on to Luna. I'm going to go latch on to GFN, and I'm going to latch on to xCloud. I'm going to do this because I don't want to just be tied to that over there if it fails, and then all these people that came to follow me aren't going to want to come watch me anymore. So
because they feel like it probably makes them look stupid if you're supporting something and then they just let you down. And you got all of these people following. It's like dominoes. It all starts going downhill real quick, and people will follow along. If that makes them feel better, they're gonna go because they don't want to be associated with it.
If I had Stadia in my name, I probably would have rebranded and changed it. My brand has always been my name, but yeah. See, there's Lee in the chat. I changed my brand, but what I am still is
100% Stadia,
and he is too. And I hope I didn't put any words in your mouth there or anything, Lee. But,
yeah, you clearly said you didn't know that. Yeah, that's fine.
You know, I just I could see where there's many different reasons why somebody could have done that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think everybody wasn't just running away or doing it.
Nope.
I think the one thing that was noticeable. It did. And the one thing that was noticeable to me is that there was so much of it at the same time, right? It was like I mean, I can probably count on both my hands how many people I know of that did it all at the same time. And it was like, whoa, like pump the brakes a little bit here. You guys are okay. Personal preference, and to each their own.
But but Lee and I I'm Canadian, Lee's British, you guys are American, you guys don't give a crap. Whereas, Lee and I, we're part of the Commonwealth. You guys are traitors and gave up on the Commonwealth. We're gonna err on being the nice guys. And if Google says you shouldn't use Stadia, then we're gonna like, you know what? Boom. We're gonna change.
We don't get many opportunities to take penalty kicks, but when we do, damn it, we make them.
Yeah.
That was a shot at England. I'm sorry, Lee. I'm sorry. It's too soon.
Yep, it was done. It was months ago. We've moved on. I try to go in as many of his streams as I can. I don't always, sometimes the time change sometimes gets me. Just because I'm working still or I'm doing my own thing. And I love when he pops into my stream. He came into my last retro stream and was helping me my Batman game. Thanks to him, I actually completed some sections.
Wholesome and supportive dude that I know outside of maybe Ray 3473, the gaming sideboard. He's a bum.
I want you to have a trivia show, right? And I want you to have, what do you think Lee has ever done bad? I want to find out,
I don't think he's done anything bad.
I don't know, man. Like, seriously, he's the only guy I think that could go and apply for like Secret Service clearance or something, and they wouldn't even put him through the protocols. Like, come on in, man. Like, it's all good.
Dude, he's like the closest thing to an angel, man. But all right, let's move on, guys. Now I'm gonna use this to segue.
Maybe he's part of the. What's the Secret Service version out there? What's that? From
MI6.
MI6. Maybe he's actually part of MI6.
He might be James Bond.
Maybe
he could be like the guy that has no like filter and he's just killing people and we don't even know it.
What if he has like an alter ego like Clive, and he just comes on Stadia and just trolls people all the time, like, take that, Ray 3473. Like.
What if he's Dr. Sense?
Was that your?
That would be amazing.
Because Dr. Sense, you've never seen him, and what if Lee is Dr. Sense?
Oh, that would be amazing.
We gotta see if they ever stream.
Maybe he's Alex. I've never seen Alex either. So
I've never seen them both in the same room at the same chat at the same time.
Yeah,
Dr. Sense and Lee. Never.
I'm telling you, they're the same person.
We may be up to something here.
I'm telling you.
He said the name's Dad. Cloud gave me Dad.
Let's speed through these last ones, and then we're going to give the floor to our guest.
Yes, please.
We got some stuff. So Sean said y'all caught hella smoke for a rebranding. First of all,
I don't see hella in there. That just looks like something you added.
First of all, my bad. I don't know why I thought he said that, but maybe he said hella somewhere else.
Y'all caught smoke.
No, he does. Yeah, he does.
No, Ray said it. That sounds like something Ray would say.
So,
West Coast vibe.
What he's talking about is, I got on the next thing is what I got next is Jack leaves the SBCN. This was like the craziest drama because Jack came to us and said, "Listen, I want to host a tournament," which is funny. The tournament just started now, but he originally came to the SBCN first and said, "I want you guys to host a tournament, and it's $1,000 grand prize. It's more money involved. It's going to be epic." And I got a background in tournaments. I don't know if you guys know. So I was like, dude, I would love to do it just because I love game tournaments. I've been a part of many. I've helped create many. For me personally, it'd be cool. Now, the thing is, he came to Ray and Vet first. I had nothing to do with it.
You should host a Pac-Man tournament.
I did it once before, and I won. Anyway, moving on. So,
I'll dethrone you so quick. Not even,
bro. You is
just gone.
Anyway, so listen, you talk a lot, but I don't know. I've never seen you play a game because you was either asleep or just barely played. So I don't know if you're actually good at games, but you're good at talking.
Hey, ask Isaac, bro. Check out my clips.
Okay,
I post everything.
He does. Right. He does post clips. He does.
Well, I gotta start watching it.
None of them scare me, but he does.
Thank you. So anyway, so Jack came to those guys. Those guys said to me, like, hey, Jack wanted to do a thing. I won't say this part. So anyway, Jack wanted to do a thing. $1,000 prize, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever. Dude, I don't go crazy over money. I go to work every day. I could care less, right? I said, that's cool. I didn't want to step on their toes because I'm gun-ho. If he came to me first, we probably would have did it by now. But he went to them. Sorry, that was a complete shot at Ray and Vet. My bad. Procrastinators. So anyway, Eventually I said, whatever. So Jack inboxed me and said, hey, do you know I want to do a tournament with the SBCN? Because he felt like they wasn't more like gun-ho. I said, yeah, they came to me, but I feel like that's their thing. And I just feel like, let them do their thing. So anyway, we all talked about it and we was all trying to rev it up. You guys know we did the big announcement, whatever. So as the announcement is going on, we was going to add the tournament in this same announcement with the SBCN, creating the EBCN. And Jack wrote me, I'm not coming on. He was literally behind the scenes and was gonna come on the show. He wrote me, I'm not coming on. And I was like, dude, why? He was like, I feel like you guys are going against Stadia. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking? EBCN literally is its own thing. So that's why I want to say to Sean is we didn't rebrand, we just created something new. Well, yes, that was like the craziest drama. Jack dropped out, decided he didn't want to be a part of it. So we end up saying we're still going to do something down the road. Jack hit us back up, said he want to be a part of it. We make a big announcement with Jack on screen talking about the tournament, which is ironic because it's going on right now, but it was originally supposed to be hosted by the SBCN. So we go say we're going to do this whole big thing. And then what happens? Duncan came to me and said, hey, I want to do a show for the SBCN. I said, dude, I'm cool with it, but it better be nothing stupid. You better not come on here trying to trash Stadia because the show was going to be called What Has Stadia Done Now? So I literally told to Duncan, said, bro, just so you know, it ain't no fun and games. He said, no, cool. So I said, cool, why not? That was Jack's last straw. He said, you know what? You got Duncan on there. I just can't be a part of this. And I'm like, dude, that's where I fell out with Stadia 100 because I felt like, because Jack was a big part of Stadia 100, I felt like, dude, it's freedom of speech. So no, first he didn't drop out yet, but Duncan did his first episode, and I think someone on the show said, what's his name from Stadia? I mix up Phil Spencer and Phil Harrison. It's Phil Harrison, right?
Phil Harrison is Stadia.
It's Stadia. Phil Harrison is Stadia.
Xbox.
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah. So somebody said Phil Harrison. Somebody said Phil Harrison should be fired because he's not doing a good job with Stadia. So Jack crazy said, bro, I can't be a part of this. I'm done. I said, listen, man, I'm not going to tell Duncan and them they got to leave because you got a problem with their show. I personally watched the show and I don't think they went too far. I don't think that was too far. So then it made me feel like, yo, now you can't say nothing about Stadia. Now we got the people that's like, if you say one thing bad about Stadia, that's not cool. So anyway, that became like a crazy drama because Jack left. And I'm glad to see that he's still doing a tournament. That's the cool thing.
It was crazy because it was like you were like, hey, Jack, we got this bake sale going on, man. We got these really good cookies, really good baked goods. Everybody from the crew came. Man, you should come on in and check out some of these baked goods. And he was like, all right. He walked in the door and the first damn table he saw was Dunkin' them. He was like, what? It was that quick, man.
He was like, nah, bro.
I was like, dang. And I'm just gonna say I got to be the first host of the summer community championship, and we rocked it, and it was awesome. So you can hate on it all you want, but
no, you know what?
Warm fuzzy feelings, right, Zach? Warm fuzzy feelings.
It was awesome.
So here's the thing. I will say this: it did burn me up a little bit, and because and then the funny thing is Duncan and them left because me and Sammy got into it, and then they left. I'm like, damn, bro, I stuck up for you. Jack left. He had all this money on the line. It's gonna be a big thing for the SBCN. And then, but anyway, I get it. At the end of the day, people are people. But yeah, I did feel some type of way because I felt like Jack had a problem with every time something happened, it wasn't good enough. And I feel like we kept trying to tailor to him, and then he left anyway. But I only hate on the summer games because in my vision, when he came to us and I was involved, I would have did it differently. And I just feel like, again, they're not letting you know everything that's going to happen. So I can't say that.
But that is your take on it and your opinion, right? And then another group of organizers got together, and that's the system and the format that they came up with. And hey, I said it to Clive on Game Over last week when I was talking to him after the show. They'll learn from things that maybe they could have done differently or want to see different. And if they do it again, then maybe they'll listen to some of the things that you said and they'll incorporate them. I mean, I do think that you're a little salty about this.
I think I am. I think I'm going to say it live. So what happened was, I think this is why I'm salty. What people don't know is Jack inboxed me like a month later, say, hey, listen, do you still want to be a part of it? Right. And I said, well, he's only inboxing me. I said, listen, it's me, Spectre, Vet, and Cyborg. and those are my guys. So I got to ask them if they're okay with me still doing it with you. I went to them. They said, listen, do it if you want, but we're out. Like, we just had a bad taste term out with Jack. We're out. I say, cool. I said, Jack, I'm down. And I said, I got a lot of expertise in tournament stuff. He said, I know, and I would love you to be a part of it. You can help promote, whatever. Me and him went on and on the whole day, and he just was still a little bent out about the Duncan thing, and I still didn't want to say I had a problem with it. And he just said, you know what, man, how about you don't help and you just be in the tournament? I said, good. I was going to be in the tournament and win the whole thing anyway and have the money and flash it in your face. So that's kind of how we ended it. So I do feel like, dude, I just felt like I shouldn't have told Duncan, no, you can't do an SBCN show. So that bothered me a little bit, and I guess I am a little salty, but I love gaming. But I guess the saltiness drew over because now it's starting, and the way it's starting isn't the way I like. I don't even want to be a part of it, but you know, he did hit me up and say, dude, I didn't see your name on the list. I said, you know what, I'll join it. I never played Hitman, but I'll join it.
Again, I had a talk with Sammy right before he was on Game Over.
Right.
And Sammy and Jack are similar in that they have a certain way that they think and feel about things. They have certain standards that they want to stick to, and it's very important to them. And I appreciate both of them for that. Be true to who you are. That's one of the things that we get on people about is they become yes men or this and that. Like Jack could have very well come over and been like, you know what, Anthony, because you want me to do this, I'm going to do it. And then he would have been right in the mix for what we started this show about. Right. But no, whether it was the way that you would have done it or not, he was like, look, man, I can't do this because it bothers me. And I'm going to go and do this separately right now. Right.
Yeah.
If that's not true, then correct me here. But that's the way I interpret it.
Well, I just want to paint the picture. So it wasn't a way I would have did things because we didn't get to the actual formality. It was just that I kept sticking up for Duncan. That's what he was just annoyed. And that just
and you stuck up for Duncan because you had conversations with Duncan and had gotten to see a little bit more of the insight into what Duncan is faced with. Right. You guys started your show together and you were in a very much Duncan mode and you were trying to help him turn over that leaf of where everybody was hating on him and shedding some positivity on him, which, hey, that sounds familiar because I do the same goddamn thing with you.
You quiet.
I don't need your handouts, right?
It's all love. But no, I mean, it's just there's so many different personalities within this community. Jack is a very behind the scenes guy. For him to even step forward and have this idea and want to do it, I was a little bit shocked. I'm not going to lie to you. He's gone on with MM2K now and you know, he gets on there and talks and they do a great job. All that stuff they were talking about with Linux and Vulkan and all that the other day. I mean, Jeff, I don't know if you got to hear that show or not. I mean, they were really spitting some stuff out there that was really great. His Sunday Stadia stats, like I like Jack a lot. So
he does a lot of useful. I like Jack because he provides data. Whenever I challenge someone on Twitter and I'm arguing with them, I'm like, give me proof, give me numbers, give me something. If you don't have that, I don't care. You're dismissed automatically.
I can make a case for a lot of people with that. I can make the same case for Anthony because Anthony keeps it real. He loves to say that, right? He'll tell you the same thing today that he'll tell you tomorrow. You know, and he's very supportive of his belief in his technology and why he uses it. I mean, goddamn, I don't know how many times I've heard you talk about going to your mother-in-law's house and, you know, playing Stadia on your phone because she doesn't have any internet, right? But somebody that has that same situation, that's not for everybody, but somebody has that same situation come along and they're going to hear you say that and they're going to be like, man, I didn't even think about that. Let me try this out. So you're promoting things too. We all just promote it differently. So as far as Jack coming in and then going out, I'm not Jack. I can't speak for Jack and his personal feelings, but I just thought it was very quick, man, because I made these brownies. I just wanted him to try one, man. You know, some people in our community would have really liked these brownies because they would have made you feel a little fuzzy. It was going to be great. And he walked in and I had Duncan standing behind the counter and he was like, nope, take my money elsewhere. And I was like,
well, you want to read what
Squid's brownies?
Want to read what Spectre just said?
To be fair, I don't know if I can say a Spectre voice. I haven't heard him in a while.
I've never even heard Spectre, so I count me out. Nope.
What Spectre is the? All right, I will say this, Spectre. You've been going for a lot. Hopefully, this is telling you that. But he's the godfather of the Stadia Bash community. But go ahead, read it.
I read it. I'm not going to read it out loud because everybody's probably already read it 3 times. But that's exactly familiar to what happened when we first talked about this show. Somebody had a different idea for how they wanted to do it, and you were like, "No,
that's true.
It's not my vision." So, no, I don't think you're bashing on Jack at all. I'm not bashing on Jack either. I don't think Anthony's bashing on Jack. It's just what happened.
It's a natural thing. Like, people want a certain way to do things,
right?
And it's natural. It's natural to disagree.
Yeah,
I get that.
You know what I think too is fair. It's kind of what Ryzik said. When you had an idea, and it was your vision, and you want people to be a part of it, but you still want it to not deviate too far from your vision. So, like, even though Yes Man, like, I didn't know what I wanted it to be, but I knew I wanted to do something edgy, and I wanted some edgy people with me. And the funny thing is, I went to 3 other people. Ryzik was one. Ryzik was the first guy, and I went to 2 other people, and it just didn't work out because Ryzik was like, "Bro, whatever you want to do, I'm down. Let's do it." Right. And then 2 other people, one person was the same way. And I don't want everybody to be, you're going to be a yes man, but I don't want it to be so far away. And the one guy, if we worked together, it would have just been us arguing all the time. And so I get with Jack. Jack has a vision. He said it many times. He loved the tech more than he loves gaming.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So he want to support the hell out of Stadia. So it's hard for him to want to run a tournament and be behind a group that kind of sort of would have somebody that seems to be so anti, because we did do a whole segment on he was the first person to say Stadia die. So I guess for Jack, it's like, no, bro, I ain't going to be in bed with the Stadia die guy if I love Stadia. But anyway, guys, let's get through this real quick. We can make this real quick because this has been talked about 8 million times, but it's the Vet and Me incident. So at the end of the day, my man was screaming, flipping out because he had issues with his stream. I came in 8 minutes before the stream ended. Ryzik,
hold on. I was in the whole damn thing. He wasn't having any issues with his stream. So let me time you out right there. He was talking about that he was going to be doing, and forgive me for that. Forgive me for being wrong here if I'm wrong, but he was going to be doing a Veterans Day stream. Yes. It was going to be a 12-hour Veterans Day stream.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah. And I was in the chat, and I was egging him on, and he may have been having some issues behind the scenes, but he wasn't talking about all of that. He was full on talking about his veteran stream. Ray was in the chat with me. Right. There was only maybe 4 or 5 of us in there. And I was literally at work at my desk eating lunch with my phone up. I got him going on, trying to give him some support. I'm doing what we always do. Anthony, me, Ray, Vet, Stadia Pro Gaming, Jeff, a few others. We love to trash talk each other. I mean, it's kind of like being in high school again. Like, we talk about each other's mamas. We talk about, it's like there's no limit, there's no holds barred. And so he was like, I'm going to be doing this Veterans Day stream, and I was like, look, I don't know if anybody's going to come watch. I'm being totally sarcastic, but it is very hard to read sarcasm and emotion in words, especially when you are in a certain mind frame, right?
Yeah, but I do want to say this though, Ryzik, real quick, because I jumped in 8 minutes before it ended, but I watched the thing back like 20 minutes prior. He was flipping out and cursing F you Stadia. So what I'm saying, he was
okay. Well, then really I wasn't in there for that. So I came in while
you didn't know either. Just like me, you had no clue he was pissed off earlier.
And so I
just want to say that because
you're good. Right. I started saying what I said, and then he made a couple of comments. He was like, "Well, I don't give a shit if you want to come," and I was like, "Oh no, we got an issue. Like, there's something wrong." I immediately went to Discord and wrote him. I wrote Ray. I was like, oh my God, Ray, like, I don't know, like, and then you come in and then chats are getting deleted. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, I started this whole thing, and man, I felt awful. Like, I do. There's a couple of people in in this network that I do not want to piss off. And he is definitely one of them, because I found out that we grew up like damn 35 miles away from each other and never even knew each other. I mean, I got a lot in common with Vet, and he's definitely not somebody that I would want to upset or get mad at me at all, because I have a closeness to him. It's a weird closeness, but so when all that went down, I said this last week or the week before, whenever it was, I put my hands up. I totally assumed responsibility for that. I was the asshole and you got the blame for it, which that wasn't necessarily fair either, but there's also other history there that, you know, may have caused that. So I don't know.
4 Scars, you want to talk about this topic?
4 Scars. John ain't here.
Damn, I said 4 Scars. Foremost. My bad.
Wow. I don't even want. Wow. Okay. First.
Sorry, man.
Wow.
It's all about family.
It both starts with 4. Come on, man.
Man. Okay. So honestly, I don't really have anything to say on this. I just know what you're talking about because my Twitter feed completely blew up with that entire situation, and I kind of had the general gist of it, and I kind of figured that Bet was pretty pissed off, and because all I saw was he has me blocked, so I went on an alt account just to read the threads, and I'm just sitting there like, what the hell happened? Why are you guys arguing? And for a while, it did look like you were antagonizing him. Then Cowboy, you and Ray were going back and forth. Razak's trying to split you guys apart. And I was just sitting there like, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to tag nobody because I'm not a part of it. So really, that's all I got to say is I wasn't in the stream, but my feed did blow up with that. So I do kind of have a general idea of what had happened.
And Anthony and I were in a total playful mood. I mean, we were definitely in playful mood, and
you know
it was
funny?
not.
We both was at work.
Yeah, it was not the right time.
We both was at work. I was literally sitting at my desk at work. I had the thing in my ear. I'm listening to him, and then I look and I type and I turn my head, and I was just messing around. You're fired. I can't fire him, but I don't. Something snapped.
But it's a good lesson for me. Because I'm always learning every day. I know you are too.
Yes, sir.
We never know what's going on with people, guys. We never know what's going on with people. And, you know, I mean, Jeff is Canadian. We never know what's going on with him. Look at him. Look at him. He's just so chill right now.
He might be plotting right now. You know,
he'd look like he's plotting. Jeff, what do you got to say, Jeff? Because Jeff, and when you tell your story, could you add what you did on that certain Saturday, what you were talking about earlier?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I actually joined his. I think I asked him at one point. I said, "Hey, if you're doing Red Dead around 8 o'clock, I'll jump in because that's the Monday I have my SBCN stream. If you're playing, you know." And so when he was in there, I jumped to his chat before. I said, "I'm going live and I'm gonna do some Red Dead." He goes, "Yeah, all right, let's do some Red Dead." So I was in his stream. I turned on my stream. I connected up with him. I joined his posse, or I found him. So my stream kind of tied in with his. I didn't know of any of this other stuff that went on. What Anthony is talking about was and he made and I would always joke with him. And you're right, Razak. It's hard to express emotion in joke, but I think he always took it as a joke. When he was Stadia Vet Gaming, no matter what he was playing, I would go and I go, "Hey, it's Xbot Cloud Gaming. It's X Cloud Vet Gaming, or it's Luna Vet Gaming, or it's whatever he was playing Vet Gaming." And that just became a joke. And he's like, "Oh, Jeff, shut up and get out of here." And he would make some snide comment and whatever, right? And so. And then, he made, and it wasn't that he just made a public post, he said it on stream. He said it, Vet will never change his name. Vet will never do this. My lawyers are better than Google's lawyers and, blah, blah, blah. And then he posted it on Twitter. He posted it on YouTube. Like it was all over the place. And then one morning I woke up and there's a video and I'm like, interesting. The person who said, and I never said who it was. because many people tweeted me and DM'd me and go, "Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Who?" And some people said, I know who it is. Lay off. You know, he's going through some stuff. Leave him. All right, whatever. I didn't say anything. I just said, no, someone who said they were never going to change their name. Now they changed their name. Imagine that. Or whatever the hell I said. I don't know. I still working on my first coffee. But yeah, it was a Saturday morning. I just looked at my phone. I'm like, oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? That's all.
You know what's funny? That
But it
has
was
a lot of.
it was meant playfully because
Yeah.
I was always calling
But-
him something else. I still call him Stadia Bet Gaming.
Right. Yeah, I
As
noticed
a
you
joke.
did that earlier, and I did it to follow up with you. But that story has a lot of weight with me because that's the reason why you're here, Jeff. Is me and Ryzak, I didn't want the show to just be two American guys, right? And I said to Ryzak, we need, because originally the other two guys was from Europe, right? So that would have been cool, right? So when somebody came to me and said, "Oh my God, you see what Jeff said?" I was like, "What?" Jeff called out Vet. I was like, "Nah," and I'm an a-hole. I ain't gonna lie, I get it sometimes, right? And had we not had any issues, I would have been like, "You change your name," but it was sensitive. I didn't want to go there, and I was like, "Who the hell would do that when it's sensitive?" And I read Jeff's tweet, and I said, "Ryzak, bro, we gotta get Jeff. Did you see Jeff tweet?" He was like, "What?" And I said, "Yo, Jeff been like trolling people recently or the last months or whatever since he kind of like showed his true self." But Jeff is he ballsy, man.
No,
I was like, for somebody to do that.
I just troll Xbox, PlayStation. I
No,
troll.
you be in our chats trolling us.
I will admit, I was trolling Red Dead people when they were talking about how long the download was going to take and this and that. I'm like, what's downloading? I play on Stadia. I just start it and it's there. So
I just
wait for it to download. I don't understand. Can you explain this to me?
Man. Well, look, let me do this. All right. I know it's getting close. I got one last thing, and then we could talk about whatever time you got. Ryzak, you muted.
Yeah.
Ryzak, you muted. Anyway,
yeah, it's like I'm at work on my Zoom calls, man. I said you said you had one more thing for the last
No,
4 things, man. Jeez.
So this is the last thing. Because the last thing we don't even need to go through. But
see, there was another thing. It wasn't the last thing.
I don't know how many of you guys know this, but this was crazy. Probably the craziest drama because it was an all-out virtual fist fight. So one day I'm minding my own business. If you guys don't know, I'm telling the story, and I'm watching Ace and Cloud Extreme, right? And they're doing their regular Saturday show at 5 p.m. Eastern. And Kiefer says, "MM2K sound like he runs out of breath." And I replied, LOL, yeah, you're right. I call him the pastor. And that was it. So I walked across the street to get something to eat. By the time I came back, looked at my phone, I see Project Storm and MM2K like, oh, that's how it is. You're just going to let them talk about us. I'm like, what is going on? Like that little punk Keith, you think you running this and that, and Hell Monkey already shut you up before. I'm like, wait, what? So Hell Monkey's like, whatever, say something to me, bring me on the show. And they were like, let me on the show. Ace is like, I don't know what's going on in the chat. He was really cool about it. He's like, but, and Duncan was the best guy. Duncan said, listen, guys, this isn't what the show is about. Let's just keep on doing the show. And to be honest, that's what I would have did too. You're not going to disrupt my show. I say it all the time. If y'all guys want to act stupid in the chat, I don't need mods. Y'all can act retarded in the chat. That's on y'all. I'm going to keep doing my thing. Anyway, immediately after the show, Project Storm and MN2K fire up their stream. We going live, and they're just going in. And then the main thing they kept saying, oh, there's somebody with the battery in their back. Or there's a person that's putting the battery in their back. Hell Monkey, we ain't even talking to you. We already talked to you before. And Hell Monkey's like, bro, put me on. Let me say what I gotta say. Let me say what I gotta say right now. They're like, nah. So they kept ignoring them. Everybody in the chat, like, I mean, why you don't let them speak? I was thinking the same thing. But they was like, yeah, somebody put the battery in your back, meaning somebody's the puppet master and he's just a puppet. So anyway, that thing was crazy. I was like, oh my God. And they never let them on. And it pretty much died down. So my question to you guys is, one, me and Ray talked about this, right? Who do you think so what he's referring to is he's saying that someone has an agenda that they want Stadia pretty much to die. So they act like they like Stadia, but they really don't. I don't expect any of you guys to actually answer this, but I am. But who do you think? And he kept saying this person has a brand, so meaning they have like a channel and they're one of the big guys. So who the hell do you think, if you got to guess, and you don't have to. I know this would be really crazy if any of you guys make a guess. I am. But what do you weigh in on that whole crazy thing? And did you guys hear about it or witness it?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. The only reason I know about it is because I was getting ready for my Killer Queen Black match, and Ray was like, "Damn, they're going off, and Anthony won't leave them alone," and that was all I knew.
I was trying to get them to say my name, but
I
they
know you
didn't. I was like,
were.
damn it! I was like,
I know how you work.
I was like, yo, nobody. I was like, okay, because when I left to go across the street, I came back and I literally said, Keith said he sounded like he's running out of breath, and I said, yeah, I know. I called him the pastor, so I thought maybe I had. I was like, damn, here I go.
We
and I
were
was like,
trying to practice for our Killer Queen Black match because Lord knows that we needed it. Ray was like, man, there's some stuff going on. And I was like, what? What's going on? He was like, Anthony's in here trying to stir the pot.
But they didn't. So I really had nothing to do with it. They didn't even acknowledge me. I was like, damn. All right.
They didn't. It sounds like they didn't acknowledge anybody.
They was just going at it. What about you, Jeff? Anything? Oh, wait, Ryzak, do you think? Can you take? I know this is a hard question because this is live. Is there a person in the community that you think act like they like Stadia, but they secretly really don't want it to survive?
I mean, there's so many people I could say.
Oh, I can think of a few, but they're not.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to start no drama, so
I don't know. I'm
good.
All right, cool. So Jeff,
I got nothing. I wasn't part of it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay,
I don't really even know these people. So.
Okay. So
like your honesty, Jeff.
So I'm gonna say this. So when he was, I'm like, who could it be? I don't even know what he's talking about. I mean, but honestly, bro, that same person, I personally think, and I could be wrong, but this is just my opinion, and I'm able to give opinion. This same person came on our show today and said, if we gotta, so we're mad because we're pissed because people said Stadia was gonna die. Now, I was like, no way could it be Ace. Because Ace always supported Stadia. But I will say this, man, if you watch any episode of Cloud Gaming Stream, man, there's some Stadia hating going on. So then in my head, I was like, yo, so he seems like he loves Stadia, but he hosts the show that trashes Stadia. And then I was doing a show one day and he jumped in and was going in on Stadia. I was like, damn, bro, what does Stadia do to you? And just like today, so I really think, what if Ace secretly wants Stadia to die, so he have a thing called cloud gaming? And the true history is, once upon a time, Ace and Sammy, the biggest Stadia YouTuber, 18-something thousand subscribers, they was a team. But Ace wanted to cover more than just Stadia, so they had a little fallout. So
I would have never have guessed Ace.
I was like, nope, can't be him. But
I thought you were going for another Brit, to be honest. But
Ace is a Brit, right?
Oh, he's not. I thought Ace was English. No?
Oh, you know what? It might be. I don't know where the hell Ace is from.
Oh, all right, never mind.
My bad. I take that back. You could be right. What'd you say? Four stars.
What'd you say, Jay?
Damn, I just called him 4 stars again.
Yeah, you did.
Bro, you know what? I'm gonna start calling you wrong boy because that's the second time you messed up. Third time you messed up, you get a strike. And we're never going to talk again.
Well, bro, that was 2. I didn't do 3. You got to give me one more.
Yeah, I said you do one more.
Block him on Twitter. Block him on Twitter.
I'm going to block you on Twitter. I'm going to block you on Twitter, and I'm going to put you up for a public.
You don't block people. They block you. What are you talking about?
I don't follow you anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Wow. Yeah, I don't follow you either. So how's that?
Maybe y'all should start. Y'all have some good conversations.
Let's get through this thing and then let's give the floor to
yeah, seriously, he's
do it again.
Patient this whole time.
No, I didn't do it. I was it's just so you know, it's a mistake. But I was that close.
That's not a count. You were gonna say it.
He's got John on his brain. He was talking about him earlier.
I was gonna do an individual thing for all of you guys though. I still will, but but anybody else got anything to say about this?
Nope.
I don't think we know much about it. See, you were in that whole Stadia source thing. We stayed away from it. So all those people that you used to talk to in that, I don't know nothing about that stuff.
Yeah. I know of it, but I never really got into it. So it's just kind of like
he's like, damn, I picked the wrong people to be on this show with me.
And the last thing I had, but we don't need to topic it, was just simply I had Duncan changes his mind, but we don't need to get into that. That was my last thing.
You're beating a dead horse now, man.
Oh my Lord.
All right, so Peter, man, Go ahead.
It's all yours now. You were ready for this moment. So you wrote me earlier today and you said, hey, well, I have some time to talk about some things because I got some things on my mind. How does the show go? And I said, this is your type of show. So we're going to give you a spot. So I know you got quite a few people you want to go in on. Your first time with your face on camera. Now people can see who they're throwing all the hate at. So you better go ahead and make it good, make it juicy, because I got to eat some pizza and I got a game show to do.
Say it with your chest.
All right. So all the Stadia fans, we've watched the keynote because, of course, people were desperate for information. I get that. So the keynote was the first thing. Instead of a connect, no nothing, we decided to watch the keynote for any kind of information, the roadmap, future, whatever, Stadia. And it turns out they basically reaffirmed the future that 2023 and onwards, we're taking off. Cool, making it easier to bring games, whatever. YouTubers, thank you, Sean, for pointing it out, skill down because he's just dumb. Skill Up YouTube, Toad's Anime, a dude called Pat Stays. I've never even heard of him in my life. And he's got 970-something thousand subscribers, and not one of his videos, actually only one, reached 10,000 views, which clearly your channel is dying. Decided to open their mouth and start saying out of nowhere without evidence that this means that there's a loss of creativity for the developers and that games are going to be made artificially longer just to get the devs more money. First off, y'all can come at me on Twitter. You know my Twitter handle. I've tagged you about 50 different times in the past 24 hours. Yes. Where did you get that? Where did you get that from? There's nothing in that keynote that tells them, if anything, they're giving them more creative freedom. The devs are already getting paid money, and now you're saying it's bad when Google is saying, okay, we're going to take less of a cut and let you guys have more money on top of what you're already getting paid, and then we're going to pay you more. And this is somehow a bad thing to give devs more money. So they say, okay, hey, we're getting all this money. We're going to keep putting content on the platform.
You knew this was going to happen, though, right? Because it has nothing to do with Stadia.
There's nothing. Of course, it's nothing to do with Stadia. They sit there and do it all the time. Epic is doing it. Y'all didn't say anything. In fact, you praised them for doing it, saying, okay, Epic cares about the developers. Gotcha. Microsoft has been doing it for months now. Y'all ain't say shit about it. No, nothing, not a single word about it. Phil Spencer, I like you. I have xCloud on my phone along with Stadia right next to each other. They're best buds. I live in the cloud. Whatever. You've been doing it with Xbox, and nobody said a word. All of a sudden, when Google does it, it's a problem. And then you start bashing Stadia purely because it's Google. You guys talk about you want Stadia to die or Google's going to kill Stadia. You start linking killedbygoogle.com, which, by the way, killedbymicrosoft.info also exists. It's a meme site. Stop using it as evidence. Dude who runs that site refuses to admit whether it's rebranding or outright killed, which most of the stuff is rebranded. It's a business tactic. There's nothing wrong with it. And you really, really need to stop using that as evidence, because next time someone does that, I'm going to shut you down immediately, dismiss, done. It's not about Stadia. It's about Google. You want to be so right about Google killing Stadia that you're saying anything possible for them to say, okay, we're going to pull the plug. I'm going to tell you right now, Google doesn't give a damn about what you say on social media.
They don't even see it.
They don't care. They're, if anything, they're crawling Twitter and social media, but they're looking at the content creators, as you can see. Oh, and this 5 people joke, no one cares about Stadia. Stop. No one support it. No one, they don't care. They literally just did a content creator post that has almost 500 likes in the past 24 hours. And you're going to say that they don't care, that they just gave up.
And they just put that same thing. I seen it today. They put the same thing on YouTube. So it's on the YouTube community thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, they're starting to host people on their official channel in bringing awareness. I don't know how you get stopping first party development to, we're shutting down. Yongyi, you're a big part of that. You need to stick to voice acting because your YouTube career sucks. Your YouTube career, honest to God, sucks. Stick to voice acting for dead games like Paladins, first of all, because you're bad. Stop. Just stop. So really, that's what I have to say is it's disrespectful that all of you are trying to come at Stadia making all of these assumptions, because it's been good thing after good thing recently. They've stepped up their social media game. Thank you, Princessology. You've done a wonderful job with that.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think you have a crush on her too. So
I'm
just going to go out there and say this publicly that I think you may have a little bit of a crush going on.
I have a crush
with Shaka. I'm not going to lie.
I have a crush on Strong Woman. That's all I got to say on that subject.
All right. Well, you like her roller skates. Okay.
Hey, bro, I skate myself.
Lie.
Roller skates are awesome. I mean, I suck at it, but I mean, I ride my board just about every day, and I like my pretty lights on my LED board. So, full disclosure. So, back to the subject at hand. It's honestly disrespectful that it's been one thing after another. It's been one thing after another, good news after good news, and now all of a sudden you content creators on YouTube are trying to make up another BS narrative because of the fact of it's been good thing after good thing, and you cannot find anything bad to hate on. And it's ridiculous. Toad's Anime literally backtracked in his own post and said, I am probably mistaken, and then left the post up anyway, and then still saying it's a subscription-based service. Stadia doesn't need a sub. You don't. So how are you going to bundle it in with xCloud or GeForce or anything like that and say it needs a sub? And first off, too, stop saying it's online only. You play everything online. The chances of your internet going out are basically slim to none, and it's extremely rare for it to actually go out. And then you say that you need a membership to play online. PSN, most games require an online membership, but that's been normalized. Most games on Xbox require online membership unless it's something like Warframe or Destiny or something that are universally free.
No, but you can play free games on Xbox now without a membership. Free games.
Okay, you could do the same thing on
free
Stadia.
membership that you still need internet to pay for to play.
You still need internet. So either way, I was like, just because you've been doing this for decades now and you've gone blind to that, doesn't mean Stadia is any different. I get that it's always online, but guess what? I don't pay anything. I buy a game. I have all the online features without a membership. What are you going to say to that?
Well, it's the same thing with downloads. People are blind. Like Ryzak and I was talking earlier. You was talking about the new that thing they're coming out with, that handheld PC. But you was like, you know what you still got to do?
Oh, the Steam thing? Yeah.
Yeah, you still got to download the games. And they're going to work on some cloud stuff. But yeah.
So it's games you own, but and you can get a memory stick and plug into it, but you're still gonna have to update those. You're still gonna have to
on the topic of ownership, you don't own your games. Please stop telling me you own your games, because you don't. If you actually learned to read the TOS, and you don't even have to really read the terms of service, because they all say the same thing in the content section. You don't own the content, period. They own the intellectual rights, which includes physical copies. You have a physical copy, but all of the data that's on that disk still belongs to them. It's like you having a turtle.
You're buying a license.
And all they have, you have access to the license. That is it. Just because you spent money doesn't mean
I think what people are silly about is I get the whole So if I bought 20 games, like the guy Jersey, Chill Gaming said, he said, if I bought 20 games of Stadia and Stadia goes out of business, then what? I said, well, then you're screwed. If I bought 20 games, I said, but if you bought 20 games on PlayStation, the same difference. What are you talking about? Put them in my disc. I said, you're not going to be able to be on the server. Most games are online games or need an online update or some type of online something.
Well,
this ain't Nintendo where I blew the disc, the cartridge and stuck it in. You still need some type of online access. You still
Well, that's how it is. They even say, okay, I'm playing a single player game. It doesn't have any online. They're still connected to the servers, even if it's something as simple as a trophy check. They can ban your connection to the server. If the game can't connect to the server, it's gone. My PS4, when it needs a critical system update, even though I don't have it anymore, I tossed it, it's broken. But when it needed a critical system update, I couldn't launch a game, whether I was online or offline, because the software needed to be updated. And it didn't matter. It would lock me out until I updated. If I didn't have internet, I couldn't play a game, period. So this excuse of my game is single player, I can play it whenever I want. No, Steam is the same way. You can play it offline, yes, but you have to set the game up to be offline originally, and it has to download it to be able to play offline, because I had to do the same thing to Horizon, and I couldn't because my internet went out, it stopped, and I couldn't play it offline because I didn't set it up to do so. And you have to do this for every single Steam game that you want to do that. And I know people aren't about to go through their libraries and do that for every single Steam game that they want to play. It's ridiculous.
Anthony, why you always look so mad? Or are you frozen?
Jay,
I think he's
frozen. I've mentioned this before.
He's frozen.
I was going to play Rocket League. I was playing some Fortnite.
Greatest game ever.
I am the best Fortnite player over 50.
Terrible game.
What do? You just surf around in UFOs all day and then just go find people?
Yeah, pretty much. And I just wait till everybody else kills themselves, and then I'm like, I'm top 3. I'm awesome. I was going to play Rocket League, and my son goes, yeah, I'll play with you. And he booted up his PlayStation. It was going to take 127 minutes to download the updates before I could actually play a game with him.
But see, people have been doing it for so long that it's fine to them. Or they say, okay, I have fast internet. It doesn't take me that long. I download it. That means it's better. Where's it? I don't understand where the difference is. I was like, my internet sucks. Okay, I think I've gotten like max like 50 or 60 down. I was like, it still takes me upwards of 45 minutes to 2 or 3 hours to download games, depending on what it is. I was like, Stadia, I don't have to do that. I sit there, I buy a game, I play a game. Yesterday was payday. Guess what I did? I paid my rent. Not even 30 seconds later, I was on the Stadia store, bought the new YS game. Boom, done, played. At the core, all people want to do is play games. You don't want to sit there and wait for downloads. You don't want to sit there and have to start the download and then say, okay, I'm just going to go
there. I think it's
everyone who hates Stadia, who plays on something else, all have 1 gigabit connections, and they're right next to their ISP server because they all have them. Every single person that I tweet, they're like, I got a gigabit connection and I'm right next to my server. Every single one of them. I don't know what it is, but they're all, and they all tell me this. This guy was saying, because I was bugging him about the downloads, he goes, well, it only took me a minute. That's a minute longer than me. I don't have a minute. I just have to wait a minute. I want to see how fast you're doing, because that's all bullshit.
My buddy used to be like, oh, it takes 5 minutes to download games with the new systems. My nephew came over. I said, you know what? He brings over his system every time he come over. And I never touch it. He got a PlayStation 5. I said, you know what? Let's play a game together. Let me see what the wow's about, right? And I love making videos. Watch my videos because it happens. My speed was 400 megabytes, above 400 megabytes, right, per second. We were going to download Battlefield 4 or 5, whichever. What are they going to be on now? 6?
It's Battlefield 2042.
2042 or 2046.
Whatever the last one is.
It's like 6, I think, or 5. Okay. No, 5 is the most recent.
Okay, so 5. So we went to download 5. It said it was going to take over an hour. I said, I thought the PlayStation is supposed to download stuff super fast. No, it helps things load faster.
Yeah, I was like, that's all the SSD is. And I was like, guess what Stadia has? SSD. And as an example, shout out to Robin with the D on Twitter. Me and him decided to do a test with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. He recorded a video of him playing it local on his PC with the NVMe 2.0 SSD, which is the same thing. Neat little stick in my PC. Loads super fast. Cool. So I sat there, recorded it. The times were identical to local PC. The only way he could beat me is if he went into the files and deleted a certain set of files to remove the intro scene, which is unskippable. And that is the only way he could beat me. But other than that, Stadia was loading it identical to local hardware. So people saying as much crap as they do about it haven't actually done it. Just like they claim input lag. Okay, how is it that I play Siege? How is it that I play rhythm games? How is it that I do all of this? I play Fallen Order on my PC. I beat it on my PC. I've been playing it on Stadia because it was free with Pro for May the 4th be with you.
Yep.
Can't tell the difference at all. The latency is like so little.
They all claim they have these gigabit connections. They're like, oh, Stadia's got all this lag. I'm like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, how do you have a gigabit connection, but you're saying that Stadia has lag? I was like, you haven't tried it, have you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Secure's a
they claim they have, and they claim it was too laggy. And they
it's funny because I was gonna bring up Sekiro. Whenever somebody say like, "Oh, Stadia," I said, "What, dude? That game is so split-second timing." And there's people who beat the game on Stadia. And you're like, I watch Chariot Man Gaming play so much of that game. Split-second timing. So you couldn't be able to do it if it was all of what they say.
Well, there's a random dude who hit me up on Twitter. I'm playing even though I moved on to the next YS, Lacrimosa of Dana that came out on Pro, right? First YS game I've been introduced to. Dude decides to go on Twitter and he's like, okay, I showed him a clip. He's like, okay, you can play, but I bet you can't play on a nightmare mode. I beat the game, currently doing a nightmare mode, posting clips all the time. Timing is good. I mean, yeah, I got a little bit of practice to do, so I suck at games, but I'm getting better, and I'm showing that I can play on nightmare mode.
Stop real quick. Did you just say you suck at games?
I do.
No, did you help with the Pac-Man tournament now, is it?
You suck at
games, but I'm still better
trying to challenge me in Pac-Man.
Oh,
if you don't go change your didiaper, little kid.
Hey, well, look, I'm tell you what.
First of all, I'm up here, and you
just said you suck at games. It came out of your own mouth.
Nice.
Yes, but you're worse than me, so it's okay.
As much as I would love to see you guys go head to head, I think we're going to have to do it the next time. And we're going to have you back because it's been fantastic. I'm wrapping up your own show because I got to go.
Fair enough.
I've written you on 4 different platforms and you haven't seen it. Because you've been staring dead in the camera looking at the reflection of your biceps.
What you know what it is I got this background up. You guys got real life going on, so you guys look real. If I just
my alien poster,
where your fan is flying. So in this background, I'm just sitting here listening, and if I ain't moving my head, it looks like
no, seriously. But
you're frozen in fear me approaching you for the games.
Hey Jay, I know you're not streaming right now, but do you want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you? Go ahead and give yourself a little shout real quick.
All right. So if you guys wanna follow me on @foremost_GG, y'all follow me on Twitter. Whoever isn't following me, go ahead, follow me. I love it. I talk a lot of crap. If you feel like you need to meet me, I don't really care. I'm pretty sure some people frequently do meet me because I'll just go on straight up spiels and start trashing everybody that starts trying to talk like they know something because they clearly refuse to try something free, and that'd be the easiest way to prove me wrong. But if they can't do that, they make themselves look stupid and then they just refuse. So that's where you guys can find me, foremost_GG on Twitter. Feel free to follow me. I play anything from Stadia to my PC to Rocket League, Call of Duty.
Hell yeah.
Really anything. I kind of bounce back and forth depending on what my itch is. That's the beauty of having choices. Wow, what a miracle.
Good.
So
What
yeah,
state do you
that's
live
where
in?
you can find me. Arizona. So I'm actually right along with Squids and
Gotcha.
another dude on Twitter, even though we're kind of far from each other.
Royal
but
Donut.
We all live in Arizona. Yep, we all live in
Royal
Arizona.
Donut.
So
Go ahead, Anthony.
Guys, you can find me on this very channel. If you're watching it, you already are here. And Now Your Mama Knows. You can find me on Twitter. As soon as you start trying to spell it, Now Your Mama Knows, it'll pop up. You know, that's where you can find me. I'm the Cowboy, aka the King of Content, aka the All-Purpose Champion, aka Ryzak. I love your yeah, guys, check it out.
Jeff.
I am at Jeff.
Oh wait,
Knapp.
real quick. Check me out tonight at 9:00 p.m. Eastern. My wife and I do a show called The Sandy and Anthony Show, and it's 9:00 tonight. Sorry about that, Jeff, but I just want to let people know they could come back to the same channel to find me.
You're not going to get to that show if you don't get me up out of here.
That's true. There's my name. Where am I? Where are we here? At Jeff Janak, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. They're all there. Go follow me. Like my channel. Come watch me lose to Bryant in 4 minutes.
I was going to say, you guys, if you are in this chat right now, you have no excuse to not slide over to Game Over in 4 minutes because we are going to start on time. I am an on-time guy, so please don't be late. We're going to get this rocking.
Thanks, Jay.
Jay, man, thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming
buddy.
on this
Thanks,
show with
Jay.
us, dude. You've been fantastic. I loved having you.
This is fun. So, like, I work AM shifts mostly. So, like, whenever I have the time, y'all just DM me. Feel free. If you want to set something up, I actually really enjoyed this. This was fun.
We will, man. I'm gonna inbox you
anytime.
I'm gonna inbox you as soon as the show ends.
All right,
guys. Thanks so much for being in the chat and coming out to the show tonight.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate all y'all.
Back there, everybody.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.